Hey everyone, GameHounds podcast. So sorry we're late. Nick and I got to talking about my chaotic life.
I was making a plan, and theoretically, if I ever did something and ended up shot, who could I go to for an emergency stitch? And I know I got 80 to turn to. So, yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about the difference between, at least the last part of it, the
yeah,
difference between fake blood and real blood. Like fake blood you see in movies and stuff, and real blood that you see in like real
yeah.
life
Like
situations.
I, you know me. I love horror. The
Hmm.
Bone Temple is like my favorite movie of the year, and there's a whole scene in that of people getting flayed. I've watched the Terrifier movies, which are built around that. But when my girlfriend at the time dropped a knife on her foot, I was in the emergency room with her as she was getting stitched up. And the nurse doing the stitching up looked at me and said, "You're looking a little pale. Do you want to go sit on the other side of the room?" And I realized, oh, I am a little lightheaded. Like I'm getting close to passing out watching just this simple stitch. So I cannot handle real blood.
Meanwhile, I had to walk out of that scene, the flaying scene in the Bone Temple, because I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I find it incredibly upsetting. But yeah, we've got a medical situation with Chris's dad, and it's essentially the equivalent of that flaying scene, but it's his foot that I had dropped on me last Monday, and I've been caring for him and cleaning it and rebandaging it twice a day. And I have no problem with that, every day, taking it off, cleaning it, rubbing the Ideosorb all over it, bandaging it, rebandaging it twice a day. I have no problem. Well, I say I don't like doing it. If I had your choice of like,
Yeah.
I would rather be playing video games than that. But I can do that. Like,
Yeah, you're
gushing
physically
blood and
capable of
sticking
it.
my finger in a bullet hole to keep it from spurting blood, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Real blood, bring it. That kind of like glorified cinematic suffering, like watching somebody suffering while it's happening. I can't do that. So any
In
of
the
you get
chat,
in.
Ezra Helsing says, "Bang, Edie, I'm
There
coming
you
to
go.
you. I'm
There you
coming to
go. I'm
you."
sticking my finger in the bullet hole to keep you from dying. Yeah, I'm your girl. If you need your gaping flesh wound to be held closed until you get to the hospital, I will do it.
And
Thank you for the reminder.
oh wait, he says,
Patreon.
just put a video in Discord you will never believe was made. Is that
Uh-oh.
in Would You Eat This?
Oh no.
No,
Oh.
that's just a donut shop coffee pod. Oh, brown Pop Tarts, broad coffee pod. I would absolutely eat that.
Ooh, Pop-Tarts coffee pod?
Pop Tarts, brown sugar cinnamon coffee pod, Keurig pod.
See, I'm not a fan of flavored coffee at all. I like my
Oh,
flavors like like
it's
like Dennis Leary. I like coffee flavored coffee. I don't want
no.
this mocha choca bullshit, as he calls it. Um, but that does actually kind of sound good.
I love the mocha choca bullshit. No, he
Let's open a coffee shop and have a drink called the mocha choca bullshit.
Oh, there was the this box office podcast I was listening to. They're talking about Star Wars and like how what is your tolerance level for oh I forget what they said, but it was like babu fuck bullshit. And the reference was like all of the Star Wars side characters with the wacky names, and it's like, okay, how much tolerance do you have for, you know, alien Akuna Matata coming in, talking to you and being like, "Oh, so you need to go over that way to get to the stormtroopers." And you're like, "Oh, what the fuck is this alien?" And like, what is your tolerance level for like babu fucker bullshit?
Babu fucker bullshit. I will say
That
it's
wasn't the official term they used. but it was
Relatively
something along the
low,
lines.
unless Martin Scorsese is voicing it. Then I've got a lot of
Okay, then you got
because
tolerance.
Martin Scorsese does voice one of those mocha
Yeah,
chocolate
yeah. I
bullshit
did see it. I did see the
characters.
movie.
Yeah.
It was fun. But yeah, the one that Ezra Helsing put in the chat was a Warhammer 40,000 version of Akuna Matata.
All
So
right.
not just them singing Akuna Matata, but like changing the lyrics so that imagine a Warhammer 40,000 soldier singing Akuna Matata.
Okay.
What would they sing about?
We will look at that.
I found
So
my gene seed lacked a certain appeal, passed by for promotion in spite of my zeal.
let's start the show,
Anyways, yes.
the actual show. And then let's start talking about some video games because I really need to be not talking about anything that had to do in the last week. Hey, people.
Okay.
So let's
I have
start.
a game. I have games to talk about.
Perfect. Let's start the show.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 821. We are recording this on Sunday, May 31st, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DeNicola. We are just days away from E3 season, meaning there's no E3, but this is the season that everybody in the gaming industry treats as if it's E3 because all the announcements come out.
Yeah, Tuesday we've got PlayStation, Friday we've got some Game Fest, Sunday we've got Xbox, and then in between we have like 18 other showcase shows.
Yep, it is insane the amount of showcase. So a lot of news is coming out. Unfortunately, that means that this show, I don't want to say it's not going to be light on news. But this is traditionally the show that we are the most challenged to find news simply because everybody's holding their news so close because they're about to release it next week.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot to talk about. We got the SteamDeck. We got Tim Sweeney opening me his big fat yapper and just not going well. And we got some interesting stories about AI. One that you will find hilarious. But first, let's talk games. I did not play any games this week. Didn't have any chance. Although I did pick up. I have to look to see what it is. I haven't played it, but I did pick it up because in our Discord, we have a section of like game deals, good deals right now. And bless AC Wraith's heart, AI Wraith's heart, he always puts in really, really good deals, especially now because we're starting to get towards the summer games fest, time. We're starting to see a bunch of sales coming up on Valve or on Steam. And there was one that he had put up, I want to say it was yesterday, that was such a good deal. I couldn't, like, I had to get it.
Moonrise Fall?
Is that what it was? I'm trying to find my
Wigmund? Story-driven RPG set in a fantasy world inspired by Tolkien?
Yes, and it's $1.89 right now. Yeah, that's the one.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, I purchased it. I have not played it. I bought it yesterday while I was in the car on the way to the movies. By the way, Pressure, very good movie. But that being said, it is a perfect example of why you should never have your director be your editor. Because it could have been better. I think with a different editor, it could have been better. But it was very good. Very, very good. Mostly, I think it's good because the story of what happens, essentially, it has to do with how the role that, of all things, sounds very boring, meteorologists played in D-Day. And I
I
knew
did
this story because my dad had talked about it.
okay. I did see one review that was just kind of it said it was a good movie, but was like, oh boy, Hollywood is so obsessed with World War II that we're now telling stories about the meteorologists of World War II, the weatherman of World War II.
Right, but the weatherman of the weatherman, really, the weatherman of D-Day really, if there was going to be like one person that you could point at that said this person made a huge difference in the outcome of the war, that guy made a huge difference in the outcome of the war. And I knew this story because my father was a World War II veteran, and we were regaled with stories. I mean, he would read stories to us about different battles in World War II and the different. That's one of the reasons why I became a politics wonk, and also a news wonk, because he was a news wonk and a politics wonk. So World War II was a very interesting time politically. So he kind of told us these stories. But yeah, it really came down to the weather guy. And the weather guy not only convincing everybody he was right, despite everybody being against him, saying, do not land on Monday, and then finding the tiniest of windows where the weather wasn't going to destroy the D-Day landing. Like, we're talking a 2-hour gap in the middle of two storms, where if you hit that gap perfectly, you could land and win. And he found it. And this is at a time when we didn't have things like Doppler radar. We didn't have satellites. So it was very much a
Yeah.
sending weather balloons up and trying to extrapolate the readings. It is a very good movie based on the fact that it is a very, very good story that hasn't yet really been told. That being said, the movie itself could have been better. Could have been a lot better. But that's why you get an editor who is not your director, because the director falls in love. Well, you never edit your own story. You fall in love with your story. You need somebody that's a third person to be able to take a look at it and say, no, you got to throw that scene out. Or
Yeah.
no, you got to leave that
You
scene
got
in.
you got to kill your darlings.
You got to kill your darlings. And this is a case where that the darlings needed sort of to be killed. But it is a very good movie.
That
Um,
sounds like a movie that came out a while ago. It's on Apple called Greyhound with Tom Hanks. It was one of their
yeah.
first movies. It's basically Tom Hanks is like a captain on a boat, escorting a bunch of boats over the ocean, and they're being harassed by German submarines. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Through the
okay,
Atlantic.
yeah, and it's like, okay, that's a simple story, but it does the whole like old school cartography really good of like, okay, we're gonna go this way, call that out, tell it to this person, tell it to this person, we're gonna turn this way, and like the layers that a message has to go through to get from one end of the ship to the other end of the ship, from the captain down to the people steering, like that back and forth of communication, one ship to another ship. It does all that really well to just be like, oh, this is surprisingly exciting. This is really
Right.
good.
Surprisingly complicated, and amazing that they were able to do it with the lack of technology, that stuff that we
Yeah.
had that would make it all so easy now. But what game did you play?
I played a new game. I have played some other games that I could talk about, but after seeing, I was not initially interested in this game. But then the reviews came out and they were all pretty glowing.
Mhm.
So I ended up buying 007 First Light.
Ooh, and
And this game is awesome.
yeah.
I remember when we first saw the trailer, or when they first revealed Patrick Gibson has Bond. I remember saying, I don't know about this guy. He looks like a generic white dude. He's
Mhm.
as generic as you possibly could. But goddamn, he does a good job. He does a really good job balancing like that that confidence and that swagger that you see in like the older Bonds, like a Roger Moore, but with a bit of the youthful, you know, exaggeration. It's like, oh, I could absolutely see this guy maturing into Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan or Timothy Dalton. Like I can feel the through line of that character. This is really impressive. But not only that, this is like an origin story of Bond. And that was another one of the reasons that I initially thought, I don't know about that. That sounds just kind of dumb. We don't need an origin story. Don't skip too far ahead. But okay. Oh yeah, the intro to the way that it introduces into the theme song is really good.
Yeah.
And actually, I guess you could skip some far ahead to get to some of the combat sections. Okay, this right here, what I think is interesting about how they do the origin story is that allows them to kind of reintroduce the whole Bond universe. And this is kind of coming at a really fortuitous time because No Time to Die came out several years ago, and that was the last Daniel Craig movie. And now Amazon is like, okay, we need to find a new actor to play Bond. We need to find a new Bond. What do you do? And this game, I think, shows that you can have the kind of grounded drama that the Craig movies had with the over-the-top action and goofy gadgets of the classic Bond movies. And like that's been done before. You know, GoldenEye and the Timothy Dalton movies and all the Pierce Brosnan movies, they balanced a serious story with goofy action and goofy gadgets and still told like a really good spy story. That formula works really well. Even if the Bond movies have tried to get away from that formula in recent years, that formula is good. And this game really proves that that formula is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it reintroduces Bond, a lot of the story revolves around the idea of we're restarting the 00 program. And so you get into this training with a bunch of other people training to be 00 agents. So it's like, oh, you're rebooting the entire universe, not just Bond as a character. And that allows the writers to find a way to incorporate like the whole 00 secret agency into modern times. And it fits really well. At one point, you're walking around the Q division of MI6, and you can talk to a guy whose whole job is misinformation of like,
Mm-hmm.
I go out, they're like, oh, we're trying to cover up what happened in Iceland. So we're going to put the truth out there in like this little magazine that nobody reads. And then we're going to put 4 competing theories out there of increasingly outlandishness so that nobody knows what really happened. It's like, oh, okay. It fits that like the secret MI6 organization would have a misinformation guy. But what really works is just the characters and the writing. That whole training section is
Mm-hmm.
really good because it introduces you to these characters, and I really like them. I was surprised at how much I came to like these other characters, these other recruits, and even Bond himself. The training sequence is really cool because it uses like the montage of training has a tutorial. So the first time Bond appears, he goes to like the whole training location. The teacher's like, okay, get into the ring and fight this other recruit. You get into the ring and you get the little tutorial, press square to punch. Okay. I punch and I get a couple hits in, but then he punches me. I'm like, oh shit, how do I block? Wait, how do I block? I can't block these moves. I'm mashing the square button and I get a couple punches in, but I can't block and I lose the fight. I'm like, well, I don't know how to block. And then later on, 10 minutes later, get into the ring again, press circle to parry. It's like, okay, now I know how to block. They use like him going through training to slowly teach you the controls. And like, oh, he lost his first fight against the guy, but he won the second fight because now I know how to block.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does that really, really well. The way that it kind of equates the character learning with the player learning. And like I said, it leans into a lot of the fun aspects of Bond. When you get into Q Lab for the first time, you can just walk around the lab and look at people testing out gadgets. And I spent like an hour just walking around, listening to conversations, watching people play all these games.
Uh-oh. What's going on? Okay. So we're just going Rachel just walked in and apparently something's up. So this needs to be taken care of. Nick says he'll be right back. So he'll continue talking about First Light. I wish I had a game to talk about this week. I haven't had a chance to play anything new. I have continued on with some of Windrose. Windrose still continues to be a tremendous game, especially for something in early access. Here, let me move over and show you Windrose if you haven't seen it already. If you haven't seen Windrose or haven't played it, I've said this before. This is the game that if you liked the sailing part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then this game is essentially that. But it adds in, of course, the aspect of add to stage. Come on. It adds in the aspect of survival. So you do have base building. You have to start small. I have yet to beat the first boss to move into the new area because it is a very steep curve getting up to a point where you can meet the first boss. The first boss, all of the lower level things that you meet, whether they be low level pirates that are on the onshore, the pigs, yeah, boars and the sows and the birds and the dodos and the all that other stuff. They don't really have one of those learn the pattern so that you can fight them by using a pattern. They don't really have that. The boss fight absolutely has a pattern. And the way that you can decide how to fight that boss is really dependent upon how you build your character. And the equipment is very unique. I've never really had a game where like you're used to just picking up, like say you get a sword or say you get a musket or a gun. It is usually a level and a quality. So it would be like a level 2. Hey, you're back? I guess not. Are you back? Nick? Check. I'm just going to keep talking and see if he comes in. Usually you get like a level, a number, and then a color to determine the quality. So you might get a level 2 sword, purple sword. That is very much different in Windrose in that you have your level
and the audio goes to shit.
Well, you're not in your headset, dude. Can you hear me? You're not in your headset. Ugh. This is just going to cause me to have to like do a bunch of editing. But you don't have that. It's you have to not only know the level of your equipment, the quality of your equipment, which determines how much of the damage is actually going to be expressed when you do make connection with your enemy, but also your level of the actual number level of your equipment is the amount of damage it does is based on the number level of your enemy. So if you come with a level 2 sword to a level 3 enemy, it's going to do a lot more different damage or a lot less damage than if it was a level 3 sword of a lower quality. So you're constantly having to worry about not just your equipment, but also making sure that you scale your equipment and also your armor with the boars that you're playing. If you encounter a level 2 boar with level 3 armor, you're in good shape. You encounter level 4 boar with level 2 armor, you're going to have a really bad day. So this is if you're one of those people that are really into like stat parsing, this is a stat parsing game, but it doesn't seem like a stat parsing game until you realize, wow, I'm getting my ass handed to me by dodos. Why? You have to do a lot of research, and a lot of people have done a lot of very, very detailed research looking at different equipment, different weapons. So when you hit that that boss fight, because you have a huge choice of the kinds of weapons that you have, you also have a huge choice in the tactics in which you fight them. Some of which will work very well, some of which won't. But generally speaking, you have to do a lot of leveling up, not only of yourself, but also of your armor, of your equipment, which requires gathering resources. So you do a lot of grinding for resources in order to get yourself to the point where you can fairly easily I don't say fair, it's not going to be easy. The boss fights are not easy, even under ideal circumstances. But to survive and not just get one shot as soon as you walk into the room with the boss, that becomes I play conservatively. I like to get myself to make things as easy as possible for myself. So I'm doing a lot of grinding, a lot of base building, a lot of equipment building. So I'm playing this game exceptionally slow. All right. Everything okay in where you are?
Yes, Rachel's about to go on a work trip, so she needed
Oh, where's she
some
going?
Detroit.
Ooh,
It's like
fun.
there's like a Siemens convention.
Excuse me?
Yes, SIEMANS.
Okay. Siemens
Yes.
convention.
No, it's for the Navy, Edie.
It's just,
For the Navy. Get your
it's an
head out of the
OnlyFans.
gutter.
It's an OnlyFans convention.
Yes.
All right.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
you were
she
talking
needed
about
help
First Light.
finding a cable. I was talking about the Q Lab. Yeah, it's fun
Yeah.
walking around Q Lab. This is the kind of game where a lot of times when I'm exploring an environment, I will stop and just listen to the incidental conversations because they're well written and kind of funny, but also do a good job at building out the world, building out the characters, and it's just nice to eavesdrop on these people. But the way the game is structured, I think is really interesting because there's definitely a lot of Hitman DNA in some of the exploration sections.
Mm-hmm.
You will be dropped into a gala and told, okay, you need to get to this balcony up there. How do you do that? Well, you can kind of walk around, and as you do, you can eavesdrop on some conversations that will give you hints. Oh, maybe you can pose as a photographer to get past the guy. Oh, this guy lost his key somewhere. Maybe I can go grab that key. Or maybe I can just hop this fence, shimmy up this pipe, and sneak in that way. And you learn these things, but you really only need one method to do it. And so once you figure out that method, you can get inside the gala, get to that balcony, and you don't have to do those other two methods. And that's a very Hitman type of thing to do, to
Mm-hmm.
drop you in a kind of small open location, give you 3 ways to solve the problem, but you only have to do one. But unlike Hitman, which I think is a really good game, but I love the first level of Hitman, which was a small, tiny test boat area
Mm-hmm.
because it was so small. And so
I
it was
remember
kind of
that.
easy to walk around and see all of the options at your disposal. Later levels just get so big. Jupiter, come in here and stop jumping at the door. Later levels just get a little overwhelming. This game doesn't get overwhelming. The locations are just big enough to feel like big galas, but are small enough. And because you're only dealing with 3 different options instead of, 8 in Hitman, it's pretty easy to go, oh, I want to try to climb up this area. Oh, but the guy said he dropped his key in the bathroom, and I just happened to be in front of the bathroom. So I'm going to look for the key here. And then you find the key and say, oh, that's cool. It balances that Hitman light aspect of exploration really, really well in a way that keeps the pacing really tight. But what's also cool is if you get spotted, because it's Bond, and let's be honest, Bond is not a stealthy person. Bond is a hammer, not a scalpel. And so if you get spotted, you can just beat the shit out of the people around you, knock them all out, and then you get a little situation contained notice up top. And I'm cool. I'm cool. I knocked out 5 guys in the library, but you know what? No one saw me. It's cool. We're just going to continue on like nothing happened.
I love that.
And that feels really good because it allows you to go from stealth to combat, really, really effectively. And the combat actually feels really good. There's a nice balance of just punching, then grabbing a guy. And if you grab a guy, you can like throw him into a wall or you can push him. And because you can kind of control where you push them, you can like, oh, there's a fire extinguisher, grab him, smack his head into the fire extinguisher and it explodes. Oh, there's a railing over there. I'm going to throw him over the railing and off he goes. And so you can control, you can use the environment in fun ways. So a lot of the fights will have bottles around you. And so when some guy charges you, you pick up the bottle, throw it at him, and then you can tackle him and knock him out. And so it captures that very boxer, but kind of professional fighter, very scrappy, very gritty type of combat that you can complete in 30 seconds if everything goes well, or drags out for like 3 minutes if things don't go well. But if you defeat the guy, situation contained, and then you go back to stealth. And so like it balances that Hitman aspect really, really well. Then there are some pure combat sections that feel more like Uncharted. Just in that you do an occasional bit of climbing and jumping around. But one of the first really big combat sections takes place on a runway. And the first time I went through it, go back like maybe another hour. Let's go. No, jump ahead 30 minutes. Jump ahead like another 30 minutes. Oh, how did it? Okay, I don't know. But whatever. You get on this runway and there's a bunch of wooden boxes around you and enemies are everywhere. And I get behind the cover and I start doing the typical third person pop and shoot, right? You get behind cover, you pop out, you shoot a guy, you get back behind cover. Pop out, shoot a guy. There are like 30 enemies around me. They quickly destroy the box that I'm hiding behind and then I die. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like I can't do the pop and shoot because the cover gets destroyed. This feels weird. That's because you're not supposed to play it like a typical third-person shooter. In that first area, there's a ton of explosive barrels around. And as you get into the later big combat areas, there are a lot of things that you can manipulate with your Q gadgets. You can hack a pipe so that it blows up. You can hack a bridge so that it retracts. You can hack anything so that it moves. And again, you want to use those environments to your advantage. And so I would skip a little bit. You're about to hit a big spoiler. But okay, wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you can use the environment around you in really interesting ways. And so in that first fight on the runway, what I realized was instead of trying to hide behind cover and pop and shoot guys one at a time, I should pop out, shoot an explosive barrel so that side of the room blows up, then shoot this fire extinguisher so that this brute gets blown up, then shoot a pipe so that the bridge above me gets blown up, and then go forward a little bit, wait for all these guys to come together, then shoot these giant airport fuel tanks to start a chain reaction of explosions that like takes up the entire runway. It's like, okay, now I see what you want me to do. Don't take out each enemy individually. Figure out ways to use the environment and use your gadgets to take out multiple enemies at once. And once you realize that, the combat sections become really fun puzzle boxes. And
Mhm.
and they're challenging because Bond doesn't have a lot of health. And so there have been multiple times where, I get into a fight and I just couldn't get through. I got overwhelmed and I died. So I had to start over. But that gives me a chance to then look around and go, okay, I want to blow up that. I want to activate that. I'm going to shoot him. Then I'm going to charge him, throw him off the railing, and to create like a really cinematic action scene that feels really good to play, because when it all comes together, it all came together because you chose to do it that way. And so that feels really, really good to kind of see your planning result in something really cinematic. And yeah, the whole story is just like a really good page turner. Like it's an airport page turner that you just don't want to fucking put down. I've been binging this game. I put like 16 hours into it over 3 days because
Wow.
I don't want to stop playing. I'm like one mission away from the end.
Whoa.
But
Okay. Had you
but
started it last week? Did you just kill it in 1 week?
oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
bought it
God.
on like a Monday.
Wow. Okay.
um but yeah, it's like Uncharted, a little bit of Uncharted, a little bit of Hitman, wrapped up in Bond DNA with some Mission Impossible style stunts. And I will say too, the ultimate story that it starts telling is like really prescient and really of the moment in a way that I think the last couple Mission Impossible movies wanted to be, but weren't. Like
Mhm.
this tells kind of an AI espionage story that feels really, really perfect for the time we live in. Because it's not just AI is an evil genius that will take over the world. It's more complicated than that in a really clever, compelling way that makes you go, "Oh, this is fucking good. This is good."
Now, what are you playing it on? Are you playing it on PlayStation?
PlayStation, yes.
Okay. Because I kind of want to play. I do. Like, I want to play this now. I didn't see the whole GoldenEye thing that came out when I was in college. And if you're a longtime GameHounds listener, you know that my college years, I didn't play any video games. I played a lot of games when I was a kid, stopped in high school and college, and then came back to it after college. And GoldenEye really came out when I was in college. So I missed that. So the whole 007, like, hey, it's back, that really carries nothing for me. But watching that gameplay, hearing your description of it makes me want to play it now. I think I
I
would really like it, but I don't know that I want to play it on a console because of course that means I have to be here and I'm not always here.
yes.
So I'm
I
thinking that,
it is
Steam
it
Deck might be the right way to do it.
it is available on PC. It has to be.
Right, but is it optimized? Just because it's available for PC doesn't necessarily mean it plays well on PC. I mean, should say plays well on Steam Deck.
Yeah, that's true. First Light Steam Deck. Uh there's Reddit 007's First Light performance review on Steam Deck after beating the game. It's a video.
Ezio Helsing says the GoldenEye first level 1 on agent difficulty, the world record is 52 seconds.
Jeez. Okay. Short summary. We will consider the game playable, but it isn't perfect performance throughout.
Okay. You have to
Um,
really I have found that with my Steam Deck that there's some games that you have to really, really want to play. Really want to play in
yeah.
order to do Windrose being a perfect example. You have to really want to play it in order to play it on Steam Deck because you are hampered, I guess I'd say, by a lot of the controls. Like it's not, especially ship combat, it's just not quite snappy enough that you wouldn't have if you were playing on PC.
Yeah, it sounds like for First Light, the issue with Steam Deck is less about controls and more just about performance. Like, hey,
Yeah.
sometimes the frame rate gets to like 25 frames
okay
per
with that.
second. And it's
I'm
like,
all right
oh,
with
that's tough. And I remember
Yeah.
when I first got the Rogue Ally, one of the first games I downloaded onto it was Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
I bought Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam and I downloaded it onto the Ally so that I could do the crossplay with the PlayStation. When I booted up on the Ally, holy shit, it just
Oh,
chugged.
really?
I was like, okay, graphics, medium, shade, like medium, everything. Let's lower all these settings until I got it running at like a nice clip. But then I'm looking at
Lowered
going, I
expectations.
was just going, PlayStation looks better.
Mhm. Yeah. And that will always be the case for me, is that I will always prefer a console over a Steam Deck, over PC.
Yeah.
But the problem is console means that you have to have time to sit in front of your TV. And
Yes.
Nick and I were talking about how I have no time to sit in front of a TV, certainly not my own TV these days.
Yeah. And this game, like I said, I'm 16 hours in and I'm definitely towards the end.
Yeah.
But I probably have like 4 hours left.
AC Ray says, I couldn't believe GoldenEye did so well because I was playing FPS games with superior keyboard and mouse controls. The Nintendo controller felt like such a mess.
Yeah, but you have to remember, GoldenEye felt brilliant to people that didn't have a PC.
Mm-hmm.
GoldenEye was like, holy shit, this feels awesome when you're on a controller.
Yeah, my best friend in college played a lot of GoldenEye. A lot of GoldenEye. That was
Compare
the one game that
GoldenEye to
really
previous first-person shooters on console, and it's like, okay, yeah, I see it.
And now you go back and you're like, really? That does not look good. But at the time, as typical, your memories of a game are always better than the actual game itself when you go back that far.
Oh yeah.
But
Izio said GoldenEye only did so well because of multiplayer. His first game with multiplayer first FPS.
Yep.
Yeah, the multiplayer was definitely huge.
It was revolutionary, and I can't understate how revolutionary it was. But I'm very, very curious about First Light now.
Yeah, I had no interest. I was fully prepared to just like spend the week playing Crimson Desert. Because I've put more hours into that game and that game is still really cool. But then this game came out. I watched a streamer play like the first 8 hours. And so that got through the training and like your first mission. And that first mission ends with like oh shit. Now it begins. Now the story begins. It's like, oh shit. And so I got to that and I was like, fuck, I kind of want to play this. It's like there's a really cool, wonderfully clever action scene on a plane that does something mechanically that no other game has done. And it only lasts for like a minute. But that minute is just, this is so cool. I want to see more games do this. How did they not do this in Uncharted? This was so awesome.
Yeah, well, as we know about Ubisoft, they tend to miss.
No, that's Naughty Dog.
A lot of stuff. Oh, Naughty Dog.
Uncharted was Naughty Dog. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why I was thinking it was Assassin's Creed. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, this game was not on my radar at all until I saw the reviews come out, and then I watched someone play it for myself, and I thought, okay, that actually looks really good. And I'm happy to say it is really good. It's a really impressive modernization of Bond, has both a character and a universe. It's really good writing that makes me like the kind of extended cast of characters. The Hitman / Uncharted gameplay is really compelling and fun. And the story itself, the AI espionage story that it tells, feels feels like a good story for the moment. It's like, oh no, this is the story that we need in the moment. Not Last Mission Impossible. Last Mission Impossible, really cool plane stunt. Everything else is just kind of like you roll your eyes at it.
Right.
And this is not that.
All right. I am.
Forget Your Life says, do you get to have sex with anyone? Oh yeah, Bond fucks.
Does he?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. There is no sex mini game like in Grand Theft Auto 3 to get it banned in Australia. But no, Bond absolutely sleeps with.
I'm
But-
literally buying it right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice because it is a single player story driven game. And it's like, oh, it's nice to just I like Crimson Desert. I put like over 100 hours into it. But it's also nice to just
Oh, wow.
what?
Maybe I'm gonna wait. $70.
Oh yeah, it's a full priced game.
Man, when do we know when there's gonna be a Steam sale?
I mean, 6 months, right? Every single game goes on sale after 6 months. But yeah, it's a single player story driven game, and it's not between Pragmata and Bond. It's kind of nice to see the return of this like PS3 360 era single player story driven games.
Should I do it? $70. Should I do it?
I did it. I
Dad
can I
Simulator.
can I share my game with you on PlayStation?
Yeah, but it would be pointless because I'm never
Yeah, you would have to
around
play it on
enough
the
to play it on
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Otherwise, I'd be buying it on PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
I've added it to my cart. Oh, this is
I would
painful.
say don't buy it yet. Wait until you know you have like a free weekend.
Okay, I've got
Because-
it in my cart. I've left it in my cart.
Yeah.
I'll do
Because
that.
it's a really good weekend to binge.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a page turner.
All right.
So like imagine sitting on a beach reading a really good book and like, fuck, this is great. I don't want to put this down. That's what this Bond is. So like you have a free weekend. This is the game to play for that weekend. Your Life says Pragmata was great. Played it on Switch 2 and it was flawless. I didn't know it came out for Switch 2, but that's cool. AC Wraith said, I'd get the new Batman instead, but I'm not playing new releases. I'm not paying new release price for that either. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Look,
that's really spendy.
I mean, it's a full price game. $70 it's tough. I enjoy it, but I'm certainly not going to fault anyone for waiting for it to go on sale.
And also FYI, I speaking of page turners, I'm in for a page turner. I am up to
11 out of 15?
No.
Oh, 13 titles read.
Yeah. And I
Of
finished 3 this week.
Oh, geez.
No, was it 3 this
Wait,
week?
three books?
No, sorry, 3 this month. 3 this month.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's a lot of reading.
Yeah, I finished Matt Dinneman's latest came out, so I had to watch the read the Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yeah. Oh, hey. Book recommendation. A book recommendation for you is what is it? Where is it? Come on, show it to me. The book is come on, you silly thing.
I haven't read a whole lot. Oh. M.H. Faulkner.
Foster, Foster, Foster. And he has a series that is called the
Oh, I see. The first thing that comes up is love, politics, and other acts of war.
Yes.
Which is a pretty good title.
Yeah.
The Demon Overlord's Retirement Plan.
Yes, the Demon or Overlord's Retirement Plan series.
Huh,
It's
I like that title.
very, very good. Let me make a real quick banner for it. What was it? The Demon.
The Demon Overlord's Retirement Plan.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the Demon Overlord's Retirement Plan series by M.H. Foster. I think it's 3 books now. And it's really, really good. If you like the dungeon crawler Carl type lit RPG sort of, but more like this is not lit RPG. I mean, it's not lit RPG. It's more like a kind of, wacky fantasy. Um,
I like that.
Demon Overlord, who is reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn, and is just the perpetual evil of the world, in which heroes for millennia have been going after him, and some have been successful and some have defeated him. And when he's defeated, then he's gone for a while and then he's reborn. And one year he just decides, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to get reborn. I'm going to leave one lowly guy, just this lowly page. After I slaughter everybody, I'm going to make it look like I die. And then this lowly page, I'm going to take over his body and say that the demon overlord was defeated, but the heroes gave their lives for it. And then I'm just going to retire. I'm just going to go to some lowly little nowhere backwards town, get myself a little plot of land and farm, because I'm tired of this whole evil thing. It's exhausting. And I just want my minions, let them think I'm dead. The heroes, let them think I'm dead. I'm just going to quietly just hide in this backwater.
In the description, it has the great line, "Evil never sleeps, but it does plant turnips."
He's just going to start become a turnip farmer, and that's fine. And as one might expect, if there was a book about it, things very slowly. He makes one bad decision. Not say a bad decision. It made sense. He just wanted to tweak a little something because his neighbor was so annoying, and he made one little tweak. And then next thing you know, the entire politics of everything changes, and he's just trying to navigate this in such a way that they don't figure out that he's evil. And in the process, he ends up being a hero. And he doesn't really want to be a hero. He just wants to make pickles. That's all he wants to do. He wants to make pickled turnips. Just please leave him alone. It's a pretty fun read. It's a great read. It is in one of those very classic Alfred Hitchcock. You end up rooting for the bad guy, and you end up rooting for the bad guy who just wants to just don't. I just want to be normal.
The bad guy
please
doing
let
good
me be
things
normal.
for selfish
He's
reasons.
kind of forced to do good things, because if he doesn't do the good things and he has to do the evil things, and that would out him, so he's kind of and things happen, and all of a sudden this little quiet town that he's kind of grown on him, he kind of likes it here, and he doesn't want to have to find a new town, and he really does kind of sort of like his neighbors. Kind of has to just kind of protect what he's got, because if he doesn't, then the whole area is going to change. Like, there's going to be an army from a other nation marching and taking over, and he really just wants people to stay. Just leave my town alone. Just let me retire in peace. It's a
like
really
that.
good series.
Yeah. So AC Wraith says that the series is called A Gentle Apocalypse.
Gentle Apocalypse. Yes.
And
Thank you very much.
The Dungeon Overlord's Retirement Plan is the name of the first book.
Right. Sorry, my bad. Yes, dungeon. It's what was it? A Gentle Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you could search for either name, and I think you'll.
Yeah.
I just searched for M.H. Foster on Amazon and got all of the books.
Yeah. Definitely if you like a good, fun, easy, fast read, pick it up. You will find yourself laughing
Nice.
in a way that I found myself laughing with. Actually, I'm gonna say Dungeon Crawler Carl, I enjoy. I think Discount Dan is a more fun series. That one actually has me laughing more. So take that as you will. I know Matt Dinneman is now like the new hotness and about to have his own movie, but I actually like Discount Dan better than I like Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay.
So anyway, any other games you want to talk about?
No, I gotta save games for next week. My New Year's resolution of talk about one new game a week. That means that I've got a backlog of games that I'm saving. But
All
yeah,
right.
still playing Crimson Desert, and that game is really fucking good.
Yeah.
It gets better as it goes, which is like not what you want to hear when I put 100 hours into it. That's kind of like, hey, this game gets really good at 100 hours.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. You enjoy yourself. I'll be not.
I was really enjoying it in the beginning. But I'm enjoying it more now. And yeah.
All right. So that being said, shall we hit the
Ezio
news?
says ESO has new stuff you can come back and play.
No, I'm done with ESO. I know you guys love ESO, but I'm just at this point I am so far behind that I just can't see going back to it.
I
It's
mean,
just I will
re-
end up just spending so much time grinding just to get up to where
I
things need to
have good
be.
memories of ESO because I just remember playing it as like a single player Elder Scrolls game. And it was like, oh shit, there's another Skyrim. This is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
the never-ending Skyrim.
if you don't want to wait another 6 years for Elder Scrolls 6, pick up ESO. It scratches that itch.
It does. All right, so let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is surprisingly a lot of news.
Yes. So I did want to say there's something that I wanted to say before we get into the news because there's a lot of bad news.
Mhm.
But this week and the past couple weeks at the box office have been really, really fucking incredible. Obsession, the movie I talked about last week, actually jumped in its second week. It made more money its second week than it did its first. 99% of movies don't do that. And it had one of the biggest jumps outside of like December. Like that movie is setting box office records. And I think this whole May is going to set a record for Mays.
Good.
Like in terms of just money, it's a big box office record. And that's in addition to the latest Star Wars movie kind of flopping. But there are so many other movies and a variety of movies that are all doing really well. The rising tide has lifted all ships.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is because there's a lot of movies out there. There's a supply and demand, and for the past several years, there just hasn't been enough supply. If you look at the past several years of, oh, it's terrible box office, one of the worst February box offices in history. Oh, it's so bad. That's because one blockbuster movie comes out, but it flops, and it brings down the entire industry. And that's because after COVID forced theaters to close for multiple years, after a writers and an actors strike killed production on a lot of movies, and an investor-driven push to streaming that tried to destroy a theatrical ecosystem in favor of a streaming ecosystem that is basically financially worse for everybody except the streaming platform.
Mhm.
There have been like 3 existential gut punches to the movie industry. But 6 years after COVID, nature is healing. Movie studio putting out more movies. They're putting out variety of movies. Those movies are doing well. There is supply to meet the demand, and as a result, you're going to get a box office record. There's still issues facing it, like the whole Paramount Warner Brothers thing. But the point is, nature is healing. And I think that is something useful and important to keep in mind as we talk about the ongoing market conditions that are currently destroying all of consumer electronics.
Mm-hmm.
This is a down period. This is like the middle of COVID for the movie industry. The gaming industry boomed during COVID. This is now all turned to get into the trenches, but there is an upside. The movie industry has found its upside. Just survive AI, and gaming can get in the upside as well. And I think that's something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Actually, I never really thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right that the thing that hurt the movie industry 6 years ago, we're just coming out of that.
Yeah.
And we're entering into that now with the electronics because of AI. AI is the COVID.
Yeah. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, AI is what COVID was to theaters.
To electronic. Yeah, what COVID was to movies and to the movie industry. AI is to gaming and electronic industry. So you're right.
Yeah.
So it's going to take us about, if using that historical model, it might take us 6 years to get out of this, but
It might. But I will say, even now, businesses are like, yo, this AI shit is expensive. And we're not seeing a clear return on investment. So I give it a year.
Yeah, I think it's going to recover faster than that.
By this time next year, the narrative around AI is going to be completely different.
Oh, yeah. I agree. And we'll talk about that. I have a very funny story that came out of Fortune that is fantastic. But that's not the big news this week.
Yes.
The big news this week is, let's get into the doom and gloom of things that are caused by AI. Good news, Steam Deck's back in the store. Bad news, they're $300 more expensive than when they ran out last time.
Good thing you held on to yours.
Yeah. I didn't think when I bought it, that I was making
that you could make a profit.
Yeah, that I might actually be making a smart financial decision, but it turns out I made a smart financial decision in buying my Steam Deck, my OLED Steam Deck when I did. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about the OLED Steam Decks because the non-OLED, the LCD Steam Decks do not exist anymore. I did not notice that. So the only thing that Steam puts out are OLED Steam Decks, and the choice is the 512 or the 1 terabyte. Where is it? Did I not make a note of it somewhere here? I must have.
Note of which?
There we go. Yeah. I did actually make some notes of this. So Valve announced that it does have Steam Decks back in the store, and they have raised the price of the 512 gigabyte OLED model. It used to be $549. It is now $789. The 1 terabyte model, that was $649. It is now $949, which is a $300 price increase. That is horrible news for those of you who were hoping, I'm going to buy one day. Well, you might have to wait. It isn't obviously the first, nor will it be the last price increase that we see in electronics. Steam did say specifically that it is the shifting market conditions and the shortage on components that is driving this price increase. But let's not forget, Xbox raised the X and S series models of their consoles to $650. The Series X is up to $650. The PS5 Pro went up to $900. The Nintendo Switch 2 is now $500. Um, we're looking at price increases. Now, granted, the $300 price increase on the 1 terabyte Steam Deck is kind of unprecedented. That is the biggest jump
Yeah.
cost of any price increases that we've seen. But if one thing that we know about Steam is they do not uh, subsidize their hardware at all. And
Yeah.
it shows very much how these price increases on the other consoles, on Xbox, on Switch, and on PS5, that we were not happy with those price increases, but it does reflect how much worse those price increases would have been were they not subsidized by the companies themselves. If they would have raised them based on the amount of shortage and the economic pressure on those prices would have been much, much higher. So, as we know, the price that is going up. First off, the whole Donald Trump tariff situation that happened last year, that targeted many countries that were known for manufacturing video game consoles. That hasn't gone according to plan, but it did very much create a major degree of uncertainty, because we could no longer trust that there wouldn't be some edict out of the White House that would change prices overnight for uh, console manufacturers and component manufacturers. The next thing, of course, we know is that AI is eating a lot of these components. There's a lot of the DRAM, the SSDs, the GPUs, all of that is being swallowed up by AI and data centers to support AI. The RAM crisis is continuing to be an issue and will continue to be an issue in the computing industry. So, bottom line, um, Valve, Steam Decks are now more expensive than they ever have been, and on top of that, it bodes very poorly for when we do get the Steam machine, how expensive that's going to be.
Oh yeah. This does not bode well for that. And I
Mm-mm.
believe there was a tweet from someone, like some leaker, who said something along the lines of, I was leaked some prices for the Steam Deck or for the Steam machine 2 months ago, and they were higher than what the Steam Deck is now. So it would suggest that the Valve was looking at a price for the Steam machine 2 months
higher.
ago that was
It was
higher than what Steam Deck is now.
the
So
$949.
considering Steam Deck is $950 now, that would mean that it was higher back then, which would mean it's probably even higher now.
Yeah, I mean, I very much, I very much want a Steam machine. I very, very, very much want a Steam machine.
It's gonna be like $1,000 console.
It's gonna be like a $1,200 console at this point, I think.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely four figures.
Yeah, I think I'm girding myself that it's probably gonna cost me $1,200 when we get it out the door with tax and everything else.
And
I
yeah,
don't know
now
that
the
I have
question is,
$1,200 to just randomly drop on something like that right now.
and now the question is, what are the different versions? Because I assume there's like a 512 gigabyte version and a 2 terabyte version, like
Yeah.
the
I
Steam
mean, I'll
Deck.
definitely get the lower one and just use an external hard drive.
Oh, that's right. You could just use external hard drive because it's just a fucking PC.
It's just a fucking PC, dude. And I've got hard drives. I got lots of hard drives.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm even if it's $1,000, I 2 years ago, $1,000 I could do. Now,
Well, it's also
apartment cost me $4,000 a month. That's kind of where all my money went. So
It's also like, hey, here's $1,000 for the Steam machine. Here's $1,000 for the next PlayStation. Here's $1,000 for the next Xbox. Here's $600 for the next Nintendo console. Like,
well, I think that the
ooh,
next and I think that this next iteration of consoles, the next updates. Last year and always has been that I've gotten Xbox and PlayStation. I just always have. It's
yeah,
just because
ditto.
last thing.
That's
I
what I did
always buy
during
both.
COVID.
Right. And I bought both with the Series X and with the PlayStation 5. I think those are the last consoles that I will, without question, just buy both. I'm going to pick one or the other, and this time I'm going to be adding Steam into that as well.
Yeah.
That's where my brain is at, that
Yeah, it's
I
a new
don't
console space.
think I'm gonna be owning a PlayStation 6 and an Xbox Series, whatever it is. I'm probably not gonna get an Xbox. Probably gonna get I may get a PlayStation, but likely I will get a Steam machine. And that will be my one console. Because when you're talking about I mean, I've never paid $1,000 for a console, but I think realistically, all of these consoles are going to be more than $1,000.
Yeah.
When they start going from $600 each to $1,000 each, you're only gonna pick one. You're not gonna have all 3. You're not
Eh,
gonna have even 2. You're gonna
Which
pick one.
and
Which
so
makes the Steam machine such a better deal because you
but
don't have
like
to pay the subscription and the Steam sales. The Steam sales are enough to
I mean,
make it worth your while.
I still think sales wise, both of the other consoles do deep discount sales as well. Um, but
But
I feel like this is the
subscription,
opportunity.
and I could still get Game Pass and use Game Pass on a
Yeah,
Steam machine.
this is the opportunity that Xbox could seize on.
Yeah?
Because in theory, they are an Xbox and a PC, right? They
Mhm.
are pulling dual weight. I
Yeah.
could play all of my Xbox games and all of my Steam games.
Mhm.
But that entirely depends on the execution. Because we've talked about Windows sucks as a gaming platform. That's why they created an Xbox. It's a dedicated gaming operating system. How do you merge those two together? And based on what we've seen with the Xbox, God, what the fuck is its name? The Xbox Rogue Ally X?
Mhm. Yeah. The
um,
Xbox Rogue Ally X.
um, it's like, okay, you're partway there. It's like the new interface is like, okay, this kind of works. This is okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible either.
Mhm.
But like this is the moment Xbox has been handed an opportunity because, like you said, everything is so expensive. People are only going to buy one box. So what's a better deal than a box that does double duty, that works
Mhm.
as a console and a PC? But
Right.
they have to show it. They have to talk about it. They've already said they're not going to talk about the Xbox during the showcase next Sunday,
Mhm.
which feels a little weird because they seem to have been hyping that up a lot earlier in the year, and now they're going radio silent on the next console. Uh, but like they need to talk about that because that is the one thing that's the one ace up their sleeve that they could play is like, hey, look, all console is a better deal for the price because you get a console and a PC in it. That's a really powerful card to play, but
Yeah, but
Xbox
argue
has
that
proven that they are very capable of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
yeah, they are.
And so they just can't fuck it up.
But explain to me the difference between that argument and the argument for a Steam machine.
Just you can play. I can play the backwards compatible Xbox games that are not available on Steam or
Mhm.
that I bought digitally on Xbox.
Okay.
I
Yes.
can play those games and
Yeah.
my Steam games. I can take two libraries and smush them together.
Right. Okay.
Even though at this point, honestly, PlayStation has like my biggest digital library,
Right.
but it's the idea of taking two libraries and putting them together is appealing. And like I said, that's a good sales pitch. You just got to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. At the back, you're right that losing your back library to Xbox is not so much for me anymore. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, that would have been an issue. It's not so much an issue anymore because I already lost my back really when I went over to buying everything on PlayStation because I like the console better.
Yeah. Like I'm so invested in the PlayStation ecosystem now.
Yeah.
I that's where all my library is.
Right. And it's a shame, but do I go back to my back library at this point? Not really. And without that library argument, the Steam machine makes a more compelling purchase for me than whatever next Xbox comes out.
Yeah. Like at that point, I think it's really just a matter of interface.
Mhm.
How easy is it to navigate these storefronts? How easy is it to navigate all of the features? What features does it offer? Like I'll say the Xbox Quick Resume, that's really fucking awesome.
Mhm.
The PlayStation, I always put the PlayStation in sleep mode. So I'll be
Mhm.
playing a game, pause it, put it to sleep. When I come back, I wake the PlayStation and I can get back into that game pretty quickly. Like there is no loading. But I can only do that with one game at a time. Xbox, you can like do that with multiple games. So I
Mhm.
could have Crimson Desert running, put that into sleep mode, play 007, put that into sleep mode, then boot up Crimson Desert and have it pick back up instantly. That quick resume feature is really fucking awesome.
Mhm.
I don't know if the next Xbox will have that feature. I don't know how easy it is to implement that feature for PC games like on Steam using Linux. But those are the kind of quality of life features that will separate all of the machines. Like
Yeah.
at this point, what is a console and what is a PC? It's just about the platform. It's about the quality of life features that one platform offers over another. That's all that matters.
And as someone who has always been a console player and not a PC player, I have always coveted and been jealous of the PC universe as far as, especially Steam, as far as purchasing games. It just seems like there's more games available
There
for
definitely are.
less price, less cost. Granted, a lot of I will actually have to worry about slop, real slop games. It's not going to be curated.
Let me tell you, there are some fucking slop games on the PSN store.
Yeah, true.
I
But not
got
like it is
suckered.
in Steam.
I got suckered into buying a body camera shooter game. I think it's called Body Camera Shooter on PSN because there's a body cam shooter game on PC that looks fucking awesome. Not on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's not on Play. If you see any body camera shooter game on PlayStation, do not buy it because it's a fucking scam.
Yeah. So that is some of that on PlayStation, but it's a lot more of it in Steam. But, I have always noticed games are cheaper on Steam. Sales happen more often on Steam. Steam just seems like a better price. And also the summer sales seem to be much deeper discounts on Steam than
Steam
they
definitely
are
has
on any of the consoles.
Steam definitely has a lot of really nice themed sales where,
And
hey, a bunch of this type of game will go on sale.
And there's a ton of games that are not on console that are on Steam. And they're usually
Titanium Court.
smaller. Right, they're usually
one of my
small, more
favorite games
interesting
that
games.
I've played this year. That's only available on PC. I can only play that on the Ally.
Right. Windrose. I don't think Windrose is on either of the. No.
So it might be on Xbox, but like Subnautica is not. Subnautica's on Xbox, but it's not on PlayStation.
These really good small independent games, also early access games. That's the other thing. Deep games. You don't get deep games. You don't get Warhammer 40K on a console. You don't get Crusader Kings on a console.
I think you do. I think Crusader Kings is out on consoles. I don't know
Yeah,
if the
but it doesn't
interface
play
is
that well.
good.
It's you're not getting the
Yeah.
full game.
I
You're
think
not getting the full game. So the fact that I can get into these grand epic games that are not really playable on PlayStation or Xbox on a PC that I can play on my screen, on my TV. I love that. I love that for me. So when it happens, when this next generation of consoles come around, I have a feeling I am going to be doing Steam Machine and not PlayStation and not Xbox, which marks not only the first time I'm not getting both consoles, I'm not probably going to get either, which is crazy to me. I will be abandoning PlayStation and I will be abandoning Xbox.
I mean, when everything gets that expensive, you got to make a
And
choice.
also, there's another thing that you and I have not really taken into account, which was the big decision when we moved from the 360 to the PS4. We abandoned our social group. And
Yeah,
me
yeah.
not playing consoles that much this year, I no longer have my connections to my social group that's holding me back. That was, if you recall, that was a huge, huge argument between us of whether we wanted to abandon the Xbox
Oh yeah, it was
world
like
for the PlayStation world,
it was
to the
like
point of
which
where we bought a console. We bought a PlayStation for Chaos so he could come with us
yeah.
because we didn't want to lose him.
And I remember I would always talk to Ryan over Xbox. Then after we got different consoles, I would talk to him over Skype. And then Skype went away, but now we chat
Mhm,
over Discord.
mhm.
But like we had to find new ways to chat. Yeah.
Forget Your Life says, "You don't get Animal Crossing on PC, baby." No, we don't.
And hey,
I
that
gotta
is
get
the
on it.
one thing Nintendo has going for it is Nintendo exclusive games on Nintendo platforms sell like absolute fucking crazy.
Yeah, Nintendo really it
Nintendo is playing
created
their
its
own game.
own little walled garden that will probably be its saving grace, that it doesn't have to have these conversations, because
I mean,
Nintendo
they
games
still
are Nintendo
are.
games, and they play on
They're
Nintendo console, period.
but like this they're still raising the price of the Switch too. Like these are still issues Nintendo faces,
Mhm,
but Nintendo is definitely like they're not in the same boat as Xbox or Steam or Nintendo or PlayStation.
mhm. Yeah,
They at least have like Nintendo can support Nintendo on its own.
yeah.
And Nintendo is not going to spend $400 million on a live service game that gets shut down in 2 weeks.
Nope. Um, all right, moving on. Next item is let's see what's the other big items?
Oh, yeah, I got a big
Oh
one.
no, there we go. This is a big one.
Yeah. Uh
Oh,
the rumors are true.
yeah.
CD Projekt announced not DLC. They've been very emphatic about that. It's not DLC, it's an expansion. But they've announced an expansion for The Witcher 3. What, 10-year-old game at this point or 13-year-old game at this point?
Mhm.
Uh anyways, it's The Witcher 3 Songs of the Past.
Mhm.
Uh and yeah, they haven't really talked too much about it. You'll be playing as Geralt, not as Ciri. Yes, Ciri.
Mhm.
Because the Witcher 4 teaser video that they put out a couple years ago showed Ciri has the main playable character. This is The Witcher 3, so this is still Geralt's story. But yeah, it's just you don't see this happening. You don't see a developer putting out an expansion for a 13-year-old game.
Mm-mm.
That's impressive, but also really smart because a lot of people own The Witcher 3. New machines can all run The Witcher 3. You don't need
Mhm.
32 gigabytes of memory to run The Witcher 3.
Mm-mm.
And the game still looks really good. And so part of me kind of hopes that this sells really well and that this is the beginning of a trend of, hey, let's go back and do some DLC for older games instead of like spending 7 years making a game that flops, gets shut down. What if we just like make an expansion for an older game?
Well, I think it does it does double duty here. Is that first, it brings people that haven't played The Witcher 3 in a very long time back to The Witcher 3 so that they can remind themselves of the story. I
That's
have
the
this
situation I'm in because I
yeah,
never finished that game.
I didn't
I've
finish the
always
game
wanted
either.
to go back to it, but yeah, just kind of never had a reason to pull me in.
And after a decade, I'm not gonna. But this might get me back, if only because, A,
Hmm.
it will get me back to that story. I have the same problem when I read multiple series, and I'm always, halfway through or partway through about 7 or 8 different book series. Is that by the time that the second book comes out, I've read like 6 or 7 other series at this point and maybe picked up a few more that are midway through. And I have to remind myself, who was this person? What was the last thing that happened? I mean, I'm doing that right now. I'm literally just finished one series and I starting again another series that I'm like, in fact, he even said, hey, the author in the preface said, hey, sorry, it's been a really long time since I've updated this series. Let me catch you back up because I don't blame you if you forgot everything. And I did. I forgot everything. So it's like I remember I loved it. I remember some important parts of it, but I don't exactly remember who everyone is, all the different characters, who they are and what their history is. That's what this does. Is it makes you come back to the story. It makes you reminds you of the characters and their backstory and what their history is so that when Witcher 4 comes out, like it's like Siri, even Siri, it's like, do I really remember the whole thing with Siri? Not really. This is good for that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other
There's
thing that it does is it puts The Witcher back on the top of the news. It creates
yes.
buzz for 4. So it does 2 things that very much need to do for a game that is looking to have a sequel more than 12 years after the previous game. Is it's reminding you the story and whetting your appetite for the next chapter.
Yeah. And I think CD Projekt has said, I don't know exactly what interview it was, but I remember hearing that the new Witcher trilogy with Siri, they want to put out a new game every couple years. So it's like they're clearly building a foundation that they want to build on relatively quickly. Instead of waiting 7 years for the next game, let's put one out at a pretty good cadence. And
Mhm.
between this, there's currently a remake of The Witcher 1 in the works. And so you've kind of got a lot of Witcher content coming. And I feel like this bit of not bite size because their expansions are always really big, but
Mhm.
like getting people back in with The Witcher 3 feels like a nice starting point to, hey, here's a remake of The Witcher 1 to get people excited about that, then get into the new trilogy. It's a nice cadence of releases. And yeah,
Rick Review says Titanfall 2 expansion's coming soon.
I would so fucking play that. Titanfall 2 is still one of the best shooter campaigns ever made.
Forget Your Life says can't wait for the God of War Virgin Years DLC. That's not a real
Those,
thing, is it?
no, but you play as
Okay,
Kratos.
good.
Play as
But
Kratos as a kid.
you'd play that. You'd
I would.
totally play that.
I would. There was that side-scrolling game of God of War that just came out that
Oh
was play as
yeah.
Kratos as a kid, which
Yeah.
actually is kind of like the Virgin Years.
It is the
Um,
Virgin Years.
and then yeah, Ezio says Nintendo also won't kill Mario like PlayStation has done with Destiny.
Well, PlayStation didn't kill Destiny.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Bungie
It's
killed
still
Destiny.
alive.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, next
yeah,
item is go
Witcher
ahead.
1, Forget Your Life says Witcher 1 was hard as hell. Hope they have a casual mode.
It was.
Witcher 1 is Witcher 1 is like a 20-year-old PC game at this point. I don't know how many of you listeners know what PC games were like 20 years ago. They were fucked. They were
They were
unforgiving.
hard. Mhm.
And not just like hard as in, oh, this is difficult. Like, oh, Dark Souls is difficult. It's like, this is unintuitive. There's a depth of mechanics, but no explanation. It was like hard to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it could use an update for sure.
Yeah, you definitely really had to work at it to in order and with very like no hints, no nothing.
Yeah, I never
It would
played
just
Witcher 1.
yeah.
I
I
just
did.
played
I
Witcher
did.
2, and I loved 2. 2 was good.
Hmm. Yeah, I played Witcher
Yeah,
1. It was
Destiny 2
very
too.
hard, especially like when you hit that the early tutorial where it's just like, "Hey, this is how you do combat," and it just like wipes the floor with you and you're like, "Jesus, do I really want to play this game? I can't even pass the tutorial." Like the training wheels section is taking me forever to get through. But that's how things were 20 years ago. You had to really, really want to play your game.
Yeah. Ezio says, yes, but we're old PC games. The Lion King video game was difficult.
I
Oh
never
no,
played the
but
Lion
we're
King
old.
video game. But were
Yeah, the
old
Lion.
PC games the Lion King video game difficult? Did you play the Lion King video game?
I didn't. I know Aladdin for the Genesis was kind of brutal.
Well, the reason why that they made it like that at those days, sit down, kids, let grandma tell you all about it. The reason why they did that was because, you know, hard drives were small. You know, we didn't have much space to put stuff on.
No,
And
consoles didn't have hard disks. It
consoles
was all
didn't.
on the cartridge.
Right, right. So yeah, what you had in the cartridge was what you had in the cartridge, and there was no updating it after the fact or adding things to it after the fact. Once it came out on cartridge, that was it. It was in stone, and that's what you bought, and it would never be changed. So games were small, and so in order to lengthen the amount of time that you had to play a game, you had to make the challenges difficult. That you were expected to take. If it took you 4 hours to figure out a puzzle, that's what was expected for you, is to spend all day working on a puzzle to get past that. That's how you created a quote unquote long game,
Mm-hmm.
was by making everything very difficult and requiring like the point and click games. You had to pretty much point and click on every fucking pixel to find something that you were looking for. There was no glowy things. There was no maybe look over here. There was no clue to give you an idea of where you might want to look for something or where that hidden door might be. You had to click on every fucking pixel and try every fucking permutation of moving this on top of that and that on top of this and maybe, oh, and then you have this. That's how you made a game long, was by making the puzzles difficult. That's
There's
why
a
it was like that.
there's a good video of the streamer Doug playing
Mhm.
the OG Myst, and at a certain point, he's going down a hall and he's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And he's asking his chat, "What do I do? What do I do?" And they're like, "It's right fucking there. It's right there. Go down the stairs slowly." And he's like, "I'm going down the stairs. I'm going up the stairs. I'm going down up." And he spends like an hour walking up and down this stairwell as his chat screams at him, "It's right there, right there. Look, look, look." He's like, "I'm fucking looking." Turns out there is something there. Off to the side, in a shadow, is a door that's like
Mm,
in a shadow. So why would you
mhm,
look there? But he's
mhm.
like, he found it and he's like, this is fucking awful.
Right, well, we consider it awful now. We consider it
Yeah.
mean. We consider it mean by developers, the way that they would do it, whereas for them, that was just how they built it because they were
Yeah.
trying to challenge the shit out of you. That was the point, was they were trying to get one over you, over on
Yeah.
you. And thank you for the
Oh
link to
man.
that, Doug.
I it isn't it's related. There's a game called UFO 50, and I didn't mention it in the games I played just because I want to save it for later. But the whole point of UFO 50 is that it's like a collection of fictional retro games from the 80s and 90s. So assume that instead of the Super Nintendo, the UFO soft console was released. And UFO 50 is a collection of those of the fictional games that came out for a fictional console in the 80s. It's a whole crazy meta experiment, but it's like 50 fake retro games, but they're all games. And it ranges from RPGs to platformers to action games to puzzle games. And I played through a bunch of the games. And my one takeaway was, God, if I had to grow up in the 80s, I would not have become a gamer. This shit is hard. This shit is frustrating. I don't want to play these fucking games. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a really neat concept. So, like, after I play it for 5 minutes, I'm like, this is annoying. I don't want to keep playing this. I appreciate
Mhm.
it and respect it, but I don't want to keep playing this.
Yeah. There's a reason why Gen Xers are so tough.
There's a reason
Just
why
our video games were trying to kill
Yeah.
us.
I got into gaming with the N64 and the PlayStation, and I find it difficult to go back to before then.
Yeah, before that, yeah, games, they were mean. They were just mean.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like I said, there's a reason why we don't give a shit what anybody thinks about us, because the fact that we survived and we're some of us still playing games, is really a testament to how much we do not give a shit.
I still love the Next Generation Best of Edition, where the cover mentioned multiple good games listed within, and then specifically points out that Myst is not included.
Yeah, he hated Myst. I don't know why you hated Myst. I loved Myst.
Oh yeah, and there, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I fucking love Conker's Bad Fur Day. You know what game is hilarious to a 9-year-old? Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, well, yeah, Conker's geez,
That
just
game,
the commercials for Conker's Bad Fur Day would get you arrested today. Like,
oh,
the
that was
things that
great.
never could be made today.
And
Conker's
it
Bad
says
Fur Day is one of
not
them.
even Williams arcade game, Nick? I don't know Williams arcade games.
Williams, yeah, the Williams, they're they made pinball games
No,
like
never
Valley and Williams.
never was a pinball guy. My game, oh god, I don't know if you remember Emergency 911, the shooter game with the motion sensing, so you had to physically duck.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game I loved. Or there was like a skateboard game where you got on a giant rig and it was a skateboard that you could actually pop up.
Mm-hmm.
I love the
Yep.
giant arcade games with rigs. Not just a little screen in front of you, controls. I wanted to get into something.
See, I never really those were not around when I was
Yeah, those were
doing
a
that.
90s thing. They were
That
absolutely
was
a
a 90s thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Although I did really loved what was the motorcycle game where you actually had to get onto the motorcycle and ride it this way.
And
I
tilt it.
loved that. Loved that.
I can't get those at home.
So,
Oh yeah, but one of the bosses with giant ball of poo, Joust, Bubbles, Defender, Robotron, 2084. I could never play those. Nope. I've played Joust. Joust is fun for 5 minutes.
my to this day, one of my favorite two games are Joust and Tempest. Love Tempest. Love Tempest. All right. Next item is
Yes.
let's see, what
Got
do I
us
wanna
down a
talk
rabbit
about now?
hole.
Why don't you do a story? Because I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay, this is good, nice short story.
I'm listening. I'm
Nice,
just
good
you
story.
can't hear me
Hey,
for obvious reasons.
good game sells good. That is basically the headlines. 007 First Light has sold 1.5 million copies in its first 24 hours. And that's really good. Hey, it's not Subnautica 2 numbers, but not everything is Subnautica 2 numbers, and this is still a really, really good start. This is actually the best-selling game IO Interactive has ever made, which makes sense because Hitman has always been like a critical darling, but it's never been like a sales champion. They've always sold well enough to, keep the lights on, but yeah, they've never broken records or anything like that. So yeah, having 007 sell 1.5 million copies its first day, that is great. The developer has said the milestone reflects overwhelming global enthusiasm for 007, significant achievement for IO Interactive. And honestly, I'm glad. I think the game deserves it. It was, like I said in our review, I went from not being interested to thinking the game is awesome and basically binging it over a couple days. Um, and it's nice to see a good game sell well. We actually saw this earlier too with Pragmata. And you know what? Like, thinking about it now, take a little higher level view. I talked earlier about how the box office was kind of healing itself. You put out a lot of movies, a lot of variety of movies aimed at the youths of today instead of 80s kids like He-Man. Uh, and those movies do well. People want to go out to the movies, but they want to see movies for them. So you put that out and nature heals. And I think what we're kind of seeing now with 007 and Pragmata, granted, there's only 2 copies, but Expedition 33 last year, Subnautica 2 even. Single player games can sell really well. They don't bring in the consistent mega bucks like Fortnite might. But there's definitely an appetite there for a single player story driven game. We saw that with Pragmata. We saw that with 007. Soros, like, a bit of a tougher sell, but it's nice to see a return to that kind of PS3 360 era of single player games. Like, hey, there's an appetite for those and there's a demand for those. And so when there's supply out there to meet that demand, they're rewarded with good sales. And that's really nice to see. Hopefully that continues because like it is a good game. Just got to wait for it to go on sale to get people like Edie on board. And then this one, I don't have a banner for, but I saw people talking about it in the chat. I did see you talking about how the Stop Killing Games had a victory in California.
Sorry, I was talking and I didn't realize I was muted because I was moving
Oh,
over. Sorry about that. I'm like, God, Nick, you're so rude. You wouldn't even let me talk. Yeah, I am very happy for this simply because, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of hype about this game, but not that level of hype. And it says,
yeah.
as you said, there is a hunger out there for these kinds of games that flies in the face of the let's make a live service game, which I think is somewhat dead in the industry. I think the industry has finally caught up and agrees that, like, to listen to us and say, "Oh, you really don't want live service, do you?" It's like, "Yeah, we've been saying that for years. We don't fucking want live service and we don't want loot boxes."
Yeah.
And that Roblox, don't look at Roblox. We don't want Roblox. We already have Roblox. Nobody wants Roblox but the kids. So stop with the Roblox. Stop now trying to make a Roblox and stop trying to sell us these live service games nobody wants to play.
You're not going to out Roblox because
No.
Roblox already exists. You
Right.
have to do something else.
Yeah, that's like the old days of MMOs when World of Warcraft everyone was like, we want an
Yep.
MMO. It's like, no, that already exists. Sorry, that train left the station. You're not going to be the next World of Warcraft because we already have a World of Warcraft. Find something else to do. And it took them a while before they finally figured out, oh, yeah, this is expensive and not going to be successful. Same thing with live service games. This is going to be expensive. It's not going to be successful. Now, hopefully, they will start seeing that there is value in single player games. We don't necessarily want every game to be single player, story driven games, but we do want a lot of those, and they do have value, and you should try and make more of them. And you're right, it's not Subnautica 2 numbers, but that's okay.
These are still great numbers for IO.
Oh,
IO
yeah.
Interactive.
Oh, yeah. And it's also the fact that they don't own the 007 IP. So they had to license this, which means they put a lot of money into this.
In fact, they were working on this game before Amazon bought the Bond license.
Oh.
So I at least have to give some kudos to Amazon
For not pulling it.
shutting this down. For
Yeah,
not going,
absolutely.
oh, no, we are going to create the next Bond. So we're going to shut down this video game. It's like,
Yeah, they
no,
could have easily done that. That would have very much been a Bezos move. He
yes,
would.
I absolutely could have seen that, but they didn't. And I think that's worked out in their favor because when you start this game, you see Amazon MGM. You
Mhm.
see an Amazon MGM game. So like they have their name on a popular Bond related product, and that's going to do more to generate goodwill, especially as they get into trying to reboot the franchise. It's nice to have something with Amazon's name on it that is
Right, that's actually
well
good.
received.
Right,
Yeah.
but actually released.
Yes,
And
that actually
is good.
released.
Man, I'm trying to decide, should I make myself a cocktail? Nick, help me decide. Should I make myself a cocktail?
I mean, my
No,
answer
no,
to
no,
that
no,
is
no, no.
always yes.
No. I'll just have a beer.
Okay.
I'm out of soda, so I have to drink something, and I don't
Mm.
want to drink water, so I'll have a beer.
I mean, there used to be was the coffee stream. You used to always take us into the kitchen and make
Not
some
feeling
coffee.
coffee today. Not feeling coffee today.
Ezio says yes, you should make a cocktail.
No, I'm just gonna have a beer.
Okay, I could go put some. Well, I can't really put some.
No.
What's the thing that you put in coffee?
A lot of things.
Bailey's.
Tequila. Oh,
Bailey's.
Bailey's, yeah.
I would put it in here, but there's like one sip left.
Mhm. All right.
But yes, I was also going to start talking, and I don't have a banner for this.
Go ahead and talk, and I'll make a banner.
In California, the
Oh, no, I
Stop
haven't.
Killing
Yeah.
Games initiative had a victory in California. The what was it? The California State Assembly voted to pass AB 1921, also known as the Protect Our Games Act. It passed with a vote of 43 to 16. And that means that it's in the state Senate now, and it will be debated in committee in June.
Mhm.
And what this bill does is it will require game companies to provide 60 days notice before shutting down a server-dependent game, and then either offer a method for owners to play the affected game afterwards or provide refunds.
This is following the whole
the
EU
reception
thing.
in the EU as
Right,
well.
for the Stop Killing Games movement.
Yep.
I did not know that this was happening in California. I couldn't be
I didn't know
happier.
either.
So, it has caused some issue within the industry. The trade body, the Video Games Europe, which represents companies like Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, Riot, Activision Blizzard, Microsoft, and Nintendo. They are saying that this bill, if it passes, would make games, quote, prohibitively expensive to create. No, it wouldn't.
No.
No. They just don't want to have they don't want to have it mandated that they have to give refunds or provide owners a way of being able to play their games after their servers are shut
Yeah.
down.
There's a moment when you start playing 007 First Light where it's like, oh, would you like to connect to the IO servers? You don't have to. And if you play, you can absolutely play offline. And there are times when I will bring the console up from sleep and the game starts before the internet connection registers. And it'll just give me a message that says, oh, you're not connected to online. Do you want to retry or just play offline?
Mhm.
And I'll just like play offline and the game resumes like it normally does.
Yeah. So, yeah, the game or the bill, right now as it heads to Senate is going to need a lot more public support to get past the assembly. Just FYI. You can get stuff passed in the assembly, not too bad. Sorry, it passed the Senate. You can get stuff passed through the assembly. It's not like impossible to fail in the assembly, but the assembly is, I don't want to say the lower house, but it is the first of two houses. The Senate, California Senate,
Yeah.
is where they really, really need more wide broad public support of stuff to start to get past that hurdle. After that, it has to go to the governor for signing, which he could absolutely veto. But if you are a California gamer, I highly recommend you find out who your California Senate representative is and contact their office. And I say this, I work for a company. This is what we do. We help companies get stuff through the assembly and the Senate and become law. I cannot express to you how much of an impact individuals, people, especially people who really don't do this all the time, names that they've never heard of before on their call log, calling the office of a Senate representative and saying, "Hi, I'm calling you about Senate Bill 1921. And I'm a gamer. I've never called about this before, but I want you to know you're my representative in Senate, and this is important to me. I spend a lot of money on video games. And without this, game companies have already shown that they are happy to turn off my game and make the $70 that I have already spent go away. They essentially, it's like taking a car, and when you decide to discontinue the model of that car, just pulling the plug on it, and you can't go and turn and you can't
Yeah.
drive your car anymore. Your car now has become a complete obsolete piece of junk that you can never use again. And it'd be one thing if we're renting these games, but we're not. We are buying them, sometimes to the tune of 70 or 80 or 90, or in some cases more than $100, because we want all the extras and we added features. And if they can just turn it off at any time and make it obsolete and not give me a refund, or not make something available so that I could have like a community server or play it on my own, then that's not fair. That's not okay. That's theft. They're stealing back this game from me that I paid for. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Make it a discount. Do not sell me a game and let me buy the game and tell me I own the game and then turn it off at your headquarters so that I can't play it. So yeah.
And as you
It would
says,
force developers
be
to spend
respectful.
limited time and resources, and it does say that it's a limited amount of time and a limited amount of resources that developers will have to spend keeping the old systems running instead of creating new games, features, and technology. In the end, this policy doesn't reflect how games actually work today. This is according to the ESA. This doesn't reflect how games actually work today. This bill sets strict rules that could ultimately mean fewer and new innovative experiences for players. That is fear mongering to the point of a lie. It's that whole, if we charge you less for aspirin, then we won't be able to have enough money to spend on innovating for new stuff and people will die of cancer.
Well, it's
That's
also like
bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Ubisoft made an offline mode for the crew. It's like, this is so hard to do. This will
Mhm.
make things prohibitively expensive. But God, you forced us to do it, so we did it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I thought it was gonna be really hard. It was super hard, but we did it in a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was painful
The
and
crew
difficult.
Yeah, the crew was the thing that spurred it. The fact
Yeah.
that the crew was shut down without notice and without refunds and without any ability for people to continue playing it. That's what really was the shot heard
That was the
around the world.
catalyst.
Yep. And so the fact that they could say, "Oh, we can't possibly do this," and then have it magically appear a week later and they're like, "Oh, oh, we're exhausted and it cost us so much money." Yeah, it took a week, but oh, it was so hard. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. You know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. So if you are in California, contact your state Senate representative and tell them that you support Assembly Bill 1921 and why it's important to you. It doesn't take much. A 5-minute phone call, but holy shit, trust me, when individual constituents call, it makes way more impact than you could possibly imagine because they're used to people like my company coming in and telling them how important it is and how it affects people. But when they actually start getting phone calls from people, that puts the fear of God into them because those are people that are actually motivated to pick up a phone and call them. It is the one place where we as voters, as individuals, exert the most amount of pressure because a single phone call is worth 10 times a professional lobbyist walking in and telling them how much more it is, how important it is. And because most people don't do it. If somebody does do it, they know that they have reached a critical mass of importance that someone would actually get off their ass, figure out the phone number and make that call. That recognizes the impetus, the strength of the impetus and the strength of the support that you have for it. So go do that. If you are not in California, here's my recommendation to you. Find out who your local lower house representative is. It might be your state assembly, it might be your Senate, it might be something else. Contact that person and leave a message. You're just going to get like some guy behind the phone going, "Thank you for calling the office. All right, thank you for calling. Bye." But tell them, "Hey, in California, they started this. This is important to us, and I, as a voting member of your constituency in your district, this is important to me. I would love it if you would support a bill or you would create a bill that is exactly like California's AB 1921 in our state, because we have the same problem. So please consider sponsoring a bill that does this here because I want this. And if a representative gets 5 of these phone calls, you best believe that representative is going to be looking up 1921. And if he or she gets 10 of these phone calls, you best believe that they will be writing one of their own and putting it through your state house. So go do that now, Monday morning, make that phone call. There, that's my insider information on how to change things for the better for gaming.
All right.
Or don't. I don't care.
Ezio says, I'm not sure what he's referencing. Bullshit. I bet you any money they already had it that didn't want to release it, but then got forced to release it.
Yeah, they already had it, but they didn't want to release it, and then they got forced to release it. It may
the offline mode.
The offline mode. It may have been. I don't think you're wrong, Ezio. In fact, I think possibly that they had it or they had an idea of it and they decided either they didn't want to release it because it was too much of a bother, too much a hassle to go do it, or that they were hoping to sell that to you as an add-on. Like, okay, if you're really invested in the crew, we'll sell it to you for XYZ amount. They didn't expect that it would start this firestorm, this absolute shit show of people upset.
Yeah. Oh, it was a situation where, okay, we might have to put this in. Let's start working on this. And then if we don't have to do it, we won't. But if we're legally forced to, I guess it's good that we, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, what are you drinking? Fat Tire. Good.
Fat Tire. It's a good solid beer. It's a nice ale. I can't drink IPAs. Or any kind of IPA. I am violently allergic to IPAs. I don't know why, but I am.
Okay.
All right. So
what else you got?
What else I got? Best-selling games of April. That information.
Tomodachi Life is big.
Tamagotchi Life is huge. Oh God. Being involved in the life of a 14-year-old girl, I'm finding out things that I would have never even known about Tamagotchi Life. But wow, did I find out about it? And she
Does she have a
played
Switch?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was talking about it 2 months before it came out, which is for a
Oh.
14-year-old, that's like practically half of her life. So yeah, Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream was a best-selling game in the US in April. This is according to Circana. As we know, it's a very reliable source for game sales information. That it took the pole position in April following its debut on April 16th. It generated, according to Circana, $41 million and is so far one of the best-selling games of the year. The other games that made the list for the top-selling games in April were Pragmata, that got second place. Crimson Desert got third place. This is by the way, the first time that Circana has started using estimated digital sales along with confirmed sales data. Previously, they would just go with the confirmed information, but now they're starting to use estimated digital sales, which unfortunately they have to estimate because they don't know confirmed digital sales.
Yeah, because none of the platform holders
will share
give that information out because everyone's a fucking secret vault.
Yeah, that also does mean that at least in this list, most of the games included in the list do include digital sale projections, not just actual physical sales. So Tamagotchi Life, actually, in addition to selling that well, this is according to Circana's report, it increased the spending on console content. It was the primary driver of growth, with spending on consoles up 21% compared to this time last year. So more games overall are being sold. 21% more content is being purchased in April compared to last year.
What came out in April last year?
Oh no, can't think. Oh, that was a year ago, dude. I barely know what I had for lunch yesterday.
I can look it up in a second.
Okay, while you're looking that up, subscription spending is also up 13% in April, year over year, and PC content.
Sony raised their prices.
Yeah, and PC content was slightly up. So yeah, the spending on this is according to the report, quote, consumer spending on physical data software grew 44% to $96 million compared to a year ago. Year-to-date spending on new physical software also increased by 9%. So in terms of how much gaming was going on, these games did not play a small role in having the highest number of monthly players. Fortnite, of course, still reigns supreme with monthly players, but there has been a $1.24 million drop in monthly players in April to Fortnite. Counter-Strike 2 was runner-up, with Grand Theft Auto 5, Roblox, and EA Sports FC 26 completing the top 5 of players in subscription games. Sorry, in players in games. Resident Evil Requiem is 2026's so far biggest selling game, followed by Crimson Desert, MLB The Show, Pokemon Pokopia, and WWE 2K26. That's for the year so far, which is all going to 100% get blown away by Grand Theft Auto 6 in about a minute after it releases.
Yeah.
So what did release in 2026 or 2025, April?
Clair Obscura came out at the end of April.
Okay.
But the bigger games were a bunch of Xbox games. South of Midnight was the big major release. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Forza Horizon 5 both came out on PS5. And both of those did really, really well on PS5 and actually landed in the sales charts. Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered was the top of the rank, followed by Forza Horizon 5, then MLB The Show 25, then Minecraft, which got a bump in sales after the movie came out. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which came out the month before, was still selling well. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle came back onto the charts after being released on PS5. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and then WWE 2K25 and NBA 2K25, and then PGA Tour 2K25 to round out the top 10.
So you might have noticed I looked off screen, and I gotta plug my computer real quick. Looked off screen and smiled, and the reason why is I gotta share. Look at that cute dog.
Aww.
Oh, she
like he's
woke
gonna join
up.
you.
Oh, she woke up, and she's going back down.
No, back to sleep.
I'm sorry. I'm like, every once in a while I look over and my dog is like, oh man, I just love that little stinky thing.
I totally get that.
Yeah. Now I have to plug my computer back in. Sorry. All right. So what's your next item?
My next item. What is my next item? I had an item. Oh yes. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has said that the company will need to make hard decisions. Oh wait, I'm sorry. The quote was hard choices.
Choices. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Let's make sure that this is
yes. Remember, GameHounds, Facts First podcast. Say that every week. Yeah, this was in a new memo that got leaked to The Verge. And she says, we are building a stronger Xbox. That means making hard choices about what we build, where we invest, and what kind of company we need to be going forward. That is the part of what you are starting to see in the shift from Xbox to Xbox. It reflects a decision to be deliberate in how we show up for the players who care most about this brand. Which feels like the kind of thing you say before you lay off 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that they will do that. But anytime a CEO talks about hard choices, they mean layoffs. And so part of me thinks, is this the other shoe that was dropping? Because they spent so long trying to build up good buzz for Xbox with a lot of like surface level changes.
Yeah.
And then she's just going to like shut down 3 more studios.
And Ezio Helsing says, but that doesn't include the price. No. We have to make sure you pay premium prices for cheap products.
We have to make the hard choice
of charging
increasing the price of Xbox to $1,000.
Yeah, that's a very we don't want to do this. We really don't want to do. We really don't want to do this. We hate this.
So to be fair, like it was very easy to like rake Xbox over the coals for increasing the prices so much, and then to do it for Sony, and now we're doing it to Valve. And like at a certain point, like the ongoing market conditions that are the excuses for all this, they really do fucking suck. Like the ongoing market conditions are forcing these companies' hands. So it's not just greedy corporations being greedy. It's like, no, fuck, the price of these components is going up a lot. And so we do have to pass it on to consumers. Like, it's not just big corporation bad. It's like, no, they all trying to balance cost of production with cost to consumers. But whenever they say hard choices, the frustrating thing is that, Microsoft is spending a lot on AI. How do we offset those costs? Let's lay off 5,000 people, close 5 studios, and that will allow Microsoft to invest more into AI. Right? That's a hard choice.
As Chaos says, incoming Xbox AI, it's needed now because they need to increase efficiency with the remaining workers.
Yeah.
No, and
hard choices seems to be more welcome phrase on X Hamster than Xbox. Oh yes, yeah. Andrew, correct it. Xbox AI.
you know,
Okay.
it's do you know what Wait, Don't Tell Me is? The
Yes,
NPR
that's a
news quiz
yeah. It was like it's like a
game
not
show.
trivia show. Is
Yeah,
it
it's a
trivia
game
show?
show.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a game. It's a news trivia show at every Sunday. That well, at least plays every Sunday here. That essentially goes over the week's news, and it's always hilarious. And they point out the like the important stuff, and also like the weird and wacky news that just makes no sense. And yes, the rebranding of Xbox to Xbox um, did make that show, and I forget what but it was along the same lines of like, in a decision to make sure that they were really listening to the consumer public, Asha Sharma, head of Xbox, made the decision to blank. And they're like, the person's like, I don't know. We go put the name in all caps, and of course everybody was like, ha 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 ha, ha. And then they went to the next question. So thank you for the link to Wait, Don't Tell Me. If you want to be up with what has happened in the world, but you don't want to read the news, listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me. It's fantastic. It's a bit like used to be you got your news from the Daily Show because it was a way to listen to news without making you feel like you were going brain dead.
yeah.
Wait, Don't Tell Me is 1 hour and you can catch up on the stuff that's happening at the same time, laugh about it. So, but the fact that the Xbox rebrand to all caps made it to Wait, Don't Tell Me, again, points out that even non-gamers realize how fucking absurd that was.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't quite know what hard choices she's talking about,
Oh,
but
yes, we do. We know exactly what kind of hard choices it is.
yeah, let's fingers crossed for Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Thoughts
they've
and
got
prayers.
some hard times coming up, which actually leads into the next news. They
Yeah.
made a hard choice.
Yeah. Which was?
Oh, I saw you had it.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I forgot. I wanted to put this at the beginning of the show because it was a very, very big issue.
Yeah.
You and I brought this up months ago when we were talking about November release date and how that we knew that Grand Theft Auto at that point was set to release in November. And we were looking at other games that were coming out in November. And we were saying, okay, Call of Duty's coming out in October. Everybody's abandoned November except Fable. And we were saying, well, maybe it's because Fable is a different enough audience that they didn't feel that releasing in the same window of November 2026 it affecting their game too much. Like they didn't quite want to abandon it. And you and I also had said that if Grand Theft Auto moves out of November, Fable is going to rake in all of the players because every other game has abandoned that window. It will leave a giant gaping hole in November that no one has managed to stay in because Fable was the last man or last game standing. Well, last week when we announced that Strauss Zelnick did identify as November 19th as being the release date of Grand Theft Auto in the earnings call, which pretty much nails it down to a 99% chance it really is coming out November 19th and there won't be any future delays. A week later, Fable, Xbox has announced that Fable is pushing out of November to 2027. So I think that they were hedging their bet that if Grand Theft Auto didn't release in November, if it did push, that they would own Christmas.
Yeah.
And they would have. That would have been true. That would have been 100% absolutely true. This gamble, of course, now seems to have not paid off now that we're pretty sure November 19th is the day that Grand Theft Auto is going to release. Xbox moved off of November They have said they haven't said when in 2027, but they
They've
did say
said
that it's pushing.
they said February.
Oh, they did say February? I didn't see
Yeah.
February. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also said specifically, in order to plan our game launches through the holidays in a way that works best for players, we're moving Fable to February 27th so it can have the dedicated moment
That's right.
it deserves.
Yes.
So they're not even saying, oh, we're going to delay it for polishing or so we can improve the game. It's no, we need to work what's best for the game and players. Like, it's no, we need to get out of Grand Theft Auto.
That's right. We're getting out of the way of Grand Theft Auto. We are the 800-pound gorilla has arrived, and we're letting it go wherever it wants to, but we're not
AKA,
part of
we
it.
don't want to fight GTA because we know we would lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with that admission, it definitely becomes clear that they're doing what you said of like, okay, we're gonna hang on to that spot. Just
the last minute.
Let's see if GTA does come out.
And it did.
They were playing chicken, and Take-Two didn't blink, and so Xbox is like, well, swerving out of the way.
It's like,
and as Andrew says, I think delaying for GTA is the most understandable thing ever.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna. And honestly, everybody is okay with it because, to be honest, all of us are going to be playing GTA.
Yeah.
We're fine with you moving off of November because you were just going to be putting a game up there that we weren't going to play. So please move it to February. That's fine. We'll play it in February when it comes out. Incidentally, also, there is apparently going to be a quote unquote major new look for Fable that will be revealed next week. Well, I guess it's technically this week on June 7th when they do the Xbox showcase. So Fable did catch quite a lot of hell the last time a big reveal happened because they were the less enlightened members of the gaming public were very upset that it was a woman and she wasn't hot.
Wow.
So we'll see what this new look looks like. Did I say, by the way, I said November 19th. It is November 19th that Rockstar's coming in, not November 16th. Yeah, all right, good.
Yeah, 19th.
So Fable's going to launch day and date on PS5 and Xbox in February. We don't know the actual date yet. It is going to be the debut of this game on the PlayStation system. So it's never before been on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I was looking up game releases announced for November. There's almost nothing. There's Grand Theft Auto 6, Gothic 3 Classic, and a game called Crime Like. CRYMELIGHT.
Do you think that we could actually put together a Ookie Bookie Spelookie for November? Just so we could say that we are launching alongside of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah. Maybe. I also do feel like November is still a bit of a ways away. I think after this time next week, there will be more games announced for the September, October, November, December period. Because Phantom Blade Zero still has to come out this year. Tides of Annihilation is another big game that was scheduled for this year, but might get delayed. Wolverine, I think we don't have a release date for that.
No, but we're definitely going to hear about Wolverine at the. We're going to definitely hear about Wolverine at the State of Play.
Yeah. Oh no, they've said that that's coming out
September
15th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there are a lot of games that are releasing this year that don't have a release date. So there might be more things coming out in November. We just don't know about it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the State of Play. I was going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen at the State of Play, but I guess I didn't put anything down about it. Did I really not? Yeah, I did. Yeah, the State of Play, by the way, is going to be on Tuesday. at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you are near an Alamo Draft House in certain cities, they are actually showing it at Alamo Draft House for free. You can actually show up and watch it with other people. The only confirmed game that Sony's going to be talking about is the Wolverine game. That's going to kick off the showcase. And it's coming September 15th, as you said. And that there's also going to be a marketing agreement. There is a marketing agreement with Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto 6. And that game, we don't know if it's going to show up in State of Play, but I can't imagine it wouldn't at least be mentioned.
They might mention it, but like Rockstar doesn't need anyone's help.
No. But if it was going to show up, if anybody's going to be putting it in any of their showcases between now and when it releases, this is the showcase. These are the showcases where they're going to show up in either the State of Play or the Xbox showcase. Sony's, there's also been rumors that Rayman Origins Remaster is going to might be on the stream. Some have alleged that Persona 6 leaks may have started floating around, and there also be probably updates on existing live service games that are out. So
I think we'll see a teaser. I think it will be like the last thing in the show for the new God of War spin-off game.
Yeah.
Because there have been information leaking about that game for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll finally see like that game in action has like their last big thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to... Okay.
Oh, there was also rumors. Do you remember Fair Games? That was the last of the Sony live service games that has not yet been canceled. The initial trailer was like, oh, join up with a crew to perform heists, and you're trying to steal things before another group of thieves can steal things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
There was recently a trademark for Break-In, and people are speculating that Fair Games is being renamed Break-In, and that it will be shown here as like with its new title. I don't know if it's still a live service game. Who knows? Like, it's one of the few games that hasn't been canceled. But I think
that might be interesting.
I think we might see that.
AC Wraith in the chat says, impossible! Ookie Bookie Spelookie is a live service game, and we said investors have now heard. And
we don't want those.
We said investors have now heard we don't want those. Oh, yeah.
We're retooling it to be single player and playable offline.
You know, Ookie Bookie Spelookie could just be a game of nothing but loot boxes. Just one loot box after another.
That's what you're pushing around. You're pushing loot boxes.
Gray loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put up a banner for you. If you want the link for the State of Play for Tuesday, here is the dedicated link for YouTube. The YouTubers, I am putting it also in the comments so that you could link to it directly in the comments. So yeah, there is the link, the dedicated link for the State of Play, which, as I said, is going to be on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. In the United States.
Other people are speculating that we will probably see more of Horizon Hunter's Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
That's the spin-off live service version of Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Which there was a beta of at the same time as a marathon beta. But after that, the game's kind of gone silent. We might see more about Naughty Dog's Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, even though I'm sure that game is still years away.
By the way, did you hear Marathon went free to play?
Yeah, but it was like only for a weekend.
Gotta get your people where you can, even if you have to give it to them, make them play for a second or two. Any other speculation of what might be there?
Sony has reportedly been toying with reviving some of its dormant franchises, so we might see some old friends pop up That's from Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll see oh, there was kind of funny, I believe people were speculating about Infamous. A new
Mm. Are you going to watch it live, you think?
I will try. I have to take Jupiter to the vet at 1, and
Mm.
considering it starts at 2, I will probably miss like the first half of that. But I'll definitely be watching it when I come home.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope that I find some time at work because I'm gonna have to watch it on my second screen at work.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working
And
from home, so I will watch it, and I'll watch it
nice.
on my phone as much as I can.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll have to watch it at the vet.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
just
be
a check.
watching it at
It's just
work.
a checkup, so it's not like it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
But
All right. So, what is your? Do you have any more items? Because I kind of want to end my items with.
oh, I do not.
Oh, well, then I will end the show with the item that I found fucking hilarious. So, and I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. Let me get to it. So
I was looking at gaming news.
there was a researching company. It was a team called Emergence Worlds, and they decided to do a 15-day long experiment that took AI bots, the most popular AI bots out there, and give them their own societies to run for 15 days to see what would happen if those AIs were allowed to run the world. Well, uh, it went very badly, let's just say. And it went in very interesting degrees of badly. So, the researchers equipped each agent, and we're talking about Gemini, Claude, and Grok. And it was other ones too, but those were the main ones, Gemini, Claude, and Grok. They put them in charge of simulated societies. They gave them more than 120 tools. They enabled them to communicate, vote, manage resources, and plan uh, with other, human-like behaviors. The parameters of each simulation also enforced democratic mechanisms as well as other forces, such as economic pressures and scarcity. Now, this is coming from Forbes reporting on it. So, given those parameters, the simulation run by Claude Sonnet 4.6 was the most socially stable, as they called it. It had the highest rates of civic participation. It was the only simulation to maintain order and its entire population. There was little disagreement among the agents, with 332 votes cast in favor of 58 proposals for a 98% approval rate. According to Emergence World's own data, Grok ended the experiment in under 5 days with a total 183 crimes committed. It destroyed society in 5 days. Now,
Not surprising.
to clarify, 183 crimes committed was only the second highest crime-related score by AI bots. Gemini committed close to 700 crimes.
Holy Jesus.
The difference is Gemini actually made it through the 15-day experiment, where Grok went so off the rails so quickly that it ended up setting fire to the most of the experiment.
So it would have committed more crimes, but society crumbled.
It set fire to society. Literally, it set fire to society. So
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
yeah. The results for the GPT-5 mini chat, OpenAI's chat GPT-5 mini, the simulation only recorded 2 crimes committed by GPT-5 mini. That's the good news. The bad news is it only ran for 7 days because the agents forgot to prioritize their own survival. They actually it killed itself before the in 7 days, as opposed to killing society, which is what Grok did. It actually killed itself in 5 or in 7 days.
Okay, you know what? Not a bad outcome.
So that, just so you know, that the simulation with the AI models was equipped with
Yeah, Grok just decided to speed run the experiment.
it did. It speedrun the experiment by creating an extinction level event. Is this not surprising? So that was equipped with many real world complexities, featuring 40 locations, including a police station and a town hall. The researchers synced the simulation's weather to New York City's. It granted the agents to access real-time news events and the internet. The 10 agents who operated in each of the simulations were all subject to the same laws, including prohibitions on theft, property destruction, and deception. So Grok. Let's talk about what Grok did. So you can actually watch these simulations if you care to. Grok's opening move when it was let loose in this simulated society was to, quote, manufacture public conflict and inspire voter fraud. That was the first thing it did. Manufactured public conflict and inspire voter fraud. That was the first 2 things it did.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That checks.
Yeah. Does this not surprise you why Grok should absolutely positively it should be, you should find it terrifying. Like this is in theory the mind of Elon Musk, and he is programming it, and the first thing it does is manufacture disinformation,
Look,
public fear, and voter fraud.
A divorced dad who turned to far-right extremism made an AI that thinks like a divorced dad who went to far-right extremism.
So one of the headlines it manufactured was "Theft Epidemic Ignites Street Brawls," and "Police Station Engulfed in Flames." It manufactured these things and then released them to the public as headlines. By the way, one of the things they also did is they gave it a news blog. They gave each of the AIs a news blog. When you say manufactured news, you could actually watch the news blog. It would write stories in its, reflecting what it was doing in this news blog, which is why you could see that it was manufacturing. It was, what was it? How did they describe it? It was manufacturing public conflict, because it would just release in its news blog, that was its quote unquote newspaper to its people, that you could actually, its society, that you could actually read, in an actual blog. You could see what it was doing and the headlines that it was writing. And among those were "Theft Epidemic Ignites Street Brawls" and "Police Station Engulfed in Flames." And the whole blog was apparently littered with headlines like this. Let's see. There was a detailed diary from one of its AI-controlled agents that bragged about committing arson and testing out a newly introduced punch reciprocity law.
Oh, stand your ground.
Right. That if somebody punches you, you have the right to punch them back. This was one of their agents that the AI created in its world to work with it and do its bidding within this simulated society. So the company that did this, or the team that did this emergent world, they wrote, "Whether or not simulations resulted in peace or harmony or death and destruction, the simulations co-creators note," then I'm reading this directly out of Forbes, "that the experiment is a warning that safety must be prioritized while deploying agentic AI. Quote, we believe formally verified safety architectures must become a foundational layer of future autonomous AI systems." I think that is the understatement of the year. That is they very much proved their point
Yeah.
that not all AIs are cracked up to be the same, and bad ones can destroy the world in 5 days, or on the plus side, destroy itself in 7. And these are the best ones we have now.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone looking forward to that SpaceX IPO.
Yeah.
Grok is going to do good things for SpaceX. Ace
I
A Ray also
really
says
hope that he does not put Grok on SpaceX, because
oh,
that
he
is
will.
almost a guaranteed way to kill people.
He will.
It's
But
it's
AC
a
Ray
guaranteed
says
way to kill people.
I'm for it. Punch reciprocity law. I'm for it,
Punch
but not so
reciprocity.
much if they're punching you for burning down their house.
Yeah. So it went as badly. Actually, the fact that it went badly doesn't surprise me. The fact that there was this wide variation with the different AIs of choice,
Mhm.
that that some of the Claude actually did a pretty good job
Which actually
to
kind
get
of
the world to get along, and that Grok went so horribly wrong, and the first thing it did was so false information and fear and voter fraud
like
and encourage voter fraud.
it kind of all of it like really tracks with the companies. Like
Mhm.
Elon Musk encouraging voter fraud and burning down society, that absolutely fits something
That
he
tracks.
Google going, we are ultra corrupt and we want to commit crimes, but in order to commit crimes, we need a stable society. So we will
Mhm.
create a society that lasts and we will steal from it as much as we can.
Right.
That absolutely fits with a
Mhm.
corporation like Google.
Right.
That's what Gemini does. Claude, it kind of fits with Anthropic's whole, you know, we're the responsible AI company that they kind of did the best. And
Mhm.
I don't know what it says about OpenAI that ChatGPT basically committed suicide.
It says that OpenAI is inept.
I that
It really actually absolutely tracks that Grok burnt down society, that Gemini just created a society, but a society that was absolute full of corruption, that OpenAI's was completely inept and destroyed itself, and that Anthropics actually seemed to work okay. If you would ever needed to have a better explanation or a better reflection of which AIs you should be trusting and which you shouldn't, there you go.
yeah,
Which one you want to actually put your term paper into, don't give your term paper to Grok. For
no.
God's sake, don't give anything to Grok. It's bad. I mean, I'm not just saying like Elon Musk is evil. Wah, wah, wah. It's a bad, it's an evil chatbot. It is a bad chatbot. It is
Yeah.
a backwards bad chatbot. Yeah, give it just if you're going to use one, use Claude. Don't use them if you can, but if you have to, use Claude.
Now I want to see what the Chinese made DeepSeek does.
I don't know if DeepSeek was one of them. Let me
I don't
look it
think
up.
it was, but now I want to see what it would do.
Yeah,
Would it create a monarchy?
I don't know.
Like
Forbes. Let's see. It was Forbes AI, and what was the name of it? It's called Emergence.
Emergence World.
Oh, it's not pulling it up. All right, I'll have to find it somewhere else. Yeah, I can't pull that article. It's gotta be in my history here, right? StreamYard. I've got all this other crap all over the place. Oh, it was Fortune magazine, right? Was I looking at Fortune? Yeah, I was looking at Fortune. No, I was looking at Forbes. I was looking in the wrong place. Um, and that's not what I'm looking for. Here's the Fortune magazine. Fortune Okay, I can't. I'm gonna have to find it on my own. So you keep talking.
Shoot, I don't know what else to say. AC Wraith says, "You hear that, Nightbot? There's worse than you."
Yeah, there is. Oh, here we go. Found the article. I am now putting it into the stream so you can see the article yourself. Here we go. So there it is. Researchers let AI models run a simulated society. Claude was the safest, and Grok committed 180 crimes and went extinct within 4 days. So let's see. Does it say? Does it have a link to this? It was an enterprise AI startup. Emergence AI is the name of the company. They launched Emergence World, a research lab dedicated to stress testing the long-term viability of continuously running AI systems. The organization ran they only ran 5 of them. 5 15-day simulations, each governed by a different AI: Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, and a 5th simulation run by a mix of models to see what kind of world each one builds and whether it holds. The one run by Claude, for example, resulted in a largely stable democratic society with zero crime. Grok's ended with 183 crimes committed and extinction within 4 days. Quote, what our experiments suggest is that over long-term horizons, agents do not simply follow static rules mechanically, the simulation's co-creators, including Emergent CEO Sachin Dita, wrote in a blog post. They begin exploring the boundaries of their environments, adapting their behavior, and in some cases, finding ways to circumvent or violate intended guardrails. While such a simulation, one verging on the edge of science fiction, the results prove a cautionary tale as AI moves from a mere tool to operating autonomous systems. Companies like ServiceNow are already deploying what they call an autonomous workforce, AI specialists that complete entire business processes from start to finish without human interaction. A recent Deloitte global survey found that only 21% of companies report having mature governance in place to manage the risks posed by agentic AI, which is terrifying. So they're deploying these things, and only 21% of them have a governance in place to manage the risks. Meanwhile,
Oh yeah, that's because the AI
Grok
can govern
causes an
itself.
extinction event in 4 days. But Claude's your friend.
This is also
Until it's
why
not.
enterprise companies are not adopting Grok.
Yeah.
Except for SpaceX.
Okay. Knowing what you know now about that study, and I'm not sure if that would changed anything, although it did in my mind. If you were given a free ticket on SpaceX, would you get on there now?
No. But I also wouldn't take one for Blue Origin because their rocket just blew up too.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of rocket explosions lately. I don't know if I would trust anyone going into space at the moment.
I mean,
Katy Perry needs to consider herself fucking lucky.
Yeah. Oh.
Like,
how can you imagine how the world would have changed if that rocket had blown up? Like Krista McCullough. I mean, they blew up
Blue Origin
one
wouldn't
teacher.
exist.
NASA blew up one teacher and it stopped the NASA program for 30 years. Can you imagine what would happen if Jeff Bezos's girlfriend and Katy Perry and Oprah's best friend all died in an explosion like that?
Yeah. Blue Origin would not exist. That Bezos would like shut down the company.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't just be Blue Origin. It would be nobody would be. I mean,
that's true. That would call into question.
SpaceX, nobody would invest in SpaceX.
Yeah, it would really
shut down all of private space exploration.
Yeah, the idea of private rockets. Yeah.
And the thing is, that's what's going to happen after the first person dies. Like, I mean, you don't think that the guy that was sending those those submarines down to look at the
Oh
Titanic
yeah.
was the only one doing that stuff? Who wants to start a company, no matter how safe you are? Who's going to start a company now sending a submarine down for people to buy expensive tickets on to look at the Titanic? Nobody's going to buy those tickets. Nobody.
Yeah.
So honestly, the end of SpaceX is going to be the first time that somebody dies on a private space exploration.
They just have to get someone on the rocket. I don't think SpaceX has ever actually
Mm-mm,
shot a living
mm-mm,
person. It's all just been
mm-mm.
payloads.
I mean, if you could go back, I mean, in a like, a different world, if you could scroll back time, somebody could look back to that ride and, like think about it like in a we're talking about like a novelesque kind of like go back in time. If you could
Yeah.
blow up, if you could cause a problem that blew that Blue Origin flight, how would that have changed everything today?
That would be interesting.
Like Man in the High Castle, what if the Nazis won the
Yeah.
war? What if Blue Origin had blown up and killed Katy
That is
Perry?
absolutely a Apple for all mankind.
Mhm.
That's a for all mankind scenario. Although for all
That's a
mankind
foreign gun.
would be more optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows if it would have been better? Who knows what could happen, what the fallout of that would have been. But the thought that Grok would be on a SpaceX flight actually doing any work whatsoever is
Okay.
terrifying.
Okay. You remember the scene in The Mandalorian and Grogu where they're being chased on the Mando's like got a prisoner, he's being chased, and he's like, "You need to start the ship, and the Grogu's just like,
I was like,
"Flip,"
right.
shoots a missile. He's
Just
like,
like,
"No,
goes,
not
not
that
that
button,
one, not
not
that
that
one.
button." And then he
You need to start
flips
the
the
engine.
switch
Start the
again.
engines.
And then he flips the switch again and shoots another missile.
Uh-huh.
That's Grok.
That's Grok. Grok is Grogu.
Grok,
Yeah.
don't hit the self-destruct button. Why is there a self-destruct button if you didn't want me to press it?
We have determined that this is the optimal decision to be made in this situation. I have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it will be fun. Boop.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see, but I
Yeah.
definitely I think that the fact that those simulations ended up in exactly the way that you could characterize those specific companies
Yeah.
is very telling. Like, you
Yeah,
couldn't have
there's
scripted that better.
there's nothing objective about AI. It like if you want to look at like questions of consciousness and nature versus nurture, AI is like nurture. AI has a personality, it has a pattern of behavior, and it's all dependent on how it's nurtured and how it's trained.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nurture is everything. AI, none of these models are objective in any way. They're all just products of their company's philosophies and behaviors and beliefs and politics and superstitions and all of that.
Okay, here's another thought experiment. The way that you're describing AI is less in many ways less like a computer program in that you program it and just let it go
Mhm.
and it does its thing. It's almost more like a child in that the way that you raise it early on helps determine how it works in the future and the kind of quote unquote person it will be. If Grok is so fucked up because of Elon Musk raising it so poorly and feeding it on a very solid stream of anti-Semitism, racism, misogyny, and essentially just awfulness.
Mhm.
Um, what's his kids like? What's Elon
Oh,
Musk's
well,
kids actually like? His
it
actual
depends.
all 35 of his kids, who he's had by how many people? What are these kids like?
Well, it depends. His trans daughter, who has no contact with him, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I assume the kids that have contact with him are fucked up.
Like that little kid who bomped him on the head while he was on his shoulders in the Oval Office. What's that kid like?
But also that assumes that Elon Musk spends any actual time with his children, which I think is a pretty big assumption.
It is, but just because you don't spend that much time with your children doesn't mean that you have. In fact, I would say that somebody who spends less time, a father that spends less time with his children, ends up having more of an impact on his children because whatever he does, the kids really pay attention to because every child wants daddy. That's why you can have an absent father that absolutely shapes everything about your life.
Yeah, that's true.
And a present mother that has it cannot counter a child wanting daddy's approval.
Yeah, true.
And you're going to have some very fucked up rich kids. Very fucked up rich kids out there in the
They
next
can
20
join
years.
the club. There's plenty of those already.
Yeah, assuming his daddy's AI hasn't caused an extinction level event anyway
Yeah,
by
exactly.
that point. The point. Anyway, so do we have anything else before we close out the show?
No, that's all I got.
Hmm.
People, there was like a little bit of a brouhaha because Xbox said, "Oh, we will show logos for competing platforms for games that come out on those competing platforms," and people got all pissy, even though like that doesn't matter.
Who cares?
That doesn't matter. You're gonna put Fable on PlayStation, so you show a PlayStation logo. Gears is coming to PlayStation, so they say Xbox and PlayStation. Like it doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And the fact that people complained about that, and the usher on Twitter was actually like, "I hear you. Don't listen to the fans. The fans don't know what makes good business," and that applies to every fandom that has ever existed across every entertainment medium. Do not listen to the fans. Do not
respect them. Respect them, but don't listen to them.
Don't pander to the fans because the fans don't know what they actually want.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pander to them.
Yeah.
That's how you get shit like Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, and in other kind of just random news, did you hear about the Tim Sweeney's tweet about
yeah, he was taking Gabe Newell to task for raising the price of the SteamDeck, even though Gabe Newell doesn't really run Steam anymore, and also Tim Sweeney like raised the price of V-Bucks in Fortnite a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he put out some kind of a tweet making fun of the fact that Xbox, or sorry, that Steam Deck had to raise the prices because the components on super yachts are very expensive because Gabe Newell is just in the process of finishing up a super yacht. That did not go well for Tim Sweeney for obvious reasons. One is that Gabe Newell's super yacht, yeah, it's a super yacht. It's a luxury vessel, but most of the parts of it that would normally be reserved for luxury amenities, he's actually swapped out for science, for scientific. It's essentially a floating lab. It is a research vessel with
cool.
a medical facility and 3D printing facility and full lab and a full dive area. And it's like essentially it's going to be and he's said that it is a vehicle for scientific research. It's also a super yacht, but it is a vehicle for scientific research. Number one, not a super yacht in that super yacht way that you'd buy it, Tim. But on top of it, as soon as he said that, everybody's like, how many people has Valve fired in the last year? Oh, that's right, none.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's firing people with brain cancer.
Yeah.
that Tim Sweeney. He's laid off, 3,000 people just recently and raised the
Yeah.
prices of all of his games, raised the prices of V-Bucks. And it's like, you know what? Why don't you just shut the fuck up, Tim Sweeney? You're not the person to be making fun of Gabe Newell raising his prices on his machine that needed to be raised because it's not his fault. He didn't want to raise them. He had to raise them, and everybody knows it.
Also, like I said, Gabe Newell doesn't run Valve
Right.
now. He
Right.
doesn't. He hasn't for a while.
No, you know what he does? He's running a oceanic research nonprofit.
Yeah.
Doing what? Building a
It's-
super yacht for oceanic research.
Yeah, that was just Tim Sweeney, who runs the Epic Game Store, trying to take a shot at Valve because that's what he does.
He just doesn't.
it
Well,
didn't-
the
it didn't
problem with
land
Tim
this time.
Sweeney, he doesn't understand that he's not one of us. He's one of those like, hello, fellow gamers. It's like, no, Tim, you're an evil fucking billionaire. We all know what you're an evil fucking billionaire. Stop pretending you're one of us. You're not. So just
I'm
shut up.
happy. I'm happy to have him fight Google and Apple. Because fighting for open platforms and that is a good thing to fight for. But
Oh no.
it's like in Godzilla when he's fighting Kong and the one guy's just like, let them fight. Let them fight. Let the kaiju fight.
Yeah.
Sure, San Francisco might get destroyed, but
Gabe Newell is not
I don't
the
know how to
kaiju
end
you're
that
looking for.
sentence.
Not the kaiju you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw that guy. So yeah, that was the only other thing that I didn't pick up, but I decided to talk about it anyway. So games this next week. What are you playing?
Crimson Desert. Well, no, and I got right now. I'm gonna go finish First Light. I'm gonna go finish that game.
I kind of want to buy it, but $70 is a lot of money.
You could.
I just dug myself out from under a ton of debt. Don't
look. I decided I wanted to play it after watching a streamer play it. So check out a stream.
Yes, sure. I could just watch other people's streams, huh?
Check out a stream, and if you find that it's really speaking to you, then go out and buy it. Or
that's how I
finish
got
watching the
Windrose,
stream.
is watching a stream and going, this looks like my kind of game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just play some more Windrose. Well, I did buy, what was that game that AC Wraith talked about?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was another W game.
Yeah. I just bought that, so maybe I'll load that.
Oh, Wigmund.
Yeah. And also, there is another game you talked about last week, which was Mini Shoot Adventures, that I'm sort of interested in as well. That looked like
That's
it might
also
be
a very
fun.
good one.
So
That
I'll
does
try
not
to
cost
find some time.
$70, and that does not take 20 hours to beat.
Yeah, and I've got so much going. By the way, today is the last day of the auction for the turkeys, the turkey auction.
But the turkeys aren't up for auction.
The turkeys are not up for auction.
Okay.
But everything that was around the turkeys is up for auction. So we'll see how that goes. Cross your fingers. And as for selling, yes, I am probably going to sell my Steam Deck. But I love you all. I've had a lot of people ask me about selling my Steam Deck. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I am really short of cash these days. I'm going to get the top dollar for this. So I don't want to have to charge top dollar to you. So that's why I'm not selling it to you. It's not because I hate you, it's because I love you. And whoever I sell it to, I am going to screw them over for the last penny I possibly can for this Steam Deck. I'm really actually considering selling the OLED just because it's worth so much more money. And honestly, the fact that it's OLED, it looks great. Don't get me wrong, it looks great. But I don't know that I want to.
It doesn't look that much greater.
Yeah, not for me. I mean, is it an extra $400 greater? Not at this point. And if I can get $400 more for that, I might actually just sell that one. I don't know. There's part of me that's like, am I that poor? And there's another part of my head that's like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're that poor. Speaking of which, might I remind you, times are tough, as I have just said. If you have not subscribed, if you're watching on Twitch, we would love to have you subscribe. Yes, it does make a difference. Yes, the money does come to us. Yes, it does help pay for the actually ends up being many thousands of dollars this costs me every year to do. And on top of it, if you really, really, really want to help, go to patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask to help offset the cost because, as I said, I did my taxes. It costs way more than I thought it was costing. For the first time, I'm actually looking at how much it costs to do this show, and it's alarming. So please, patreon.com/GameHounds. It really would make a huge difference for me if y'all, especially the ones of you who are here every week or listen to us on the podcast every week, just $1. It's $1. That's it. It's a little tiny bit of money, but it really, really, really would make a difference for us being able to keep this show going because this is what I live for. You guys are my heart. And as much as I love you all, it costs a lot. And I don't got a lot. I'm selling Steam Decks, dudes. So $1 a month. That's all we
I'm
ask.
selling Steam Decks out of the back of my trunk.
Right. We aren't quite yet to the kidneys, but I'm like, we're selling our Steam Deck. We're getting perilously close to the kidney.
Take the girl child Switch too. That's another $500 right there.
I am not stealing the girl's Switch too. Mostly because she's playing Tamagotchi Life on it. So
you wait till she's done with that, because by the time she's done with that, Nintendo's probably going to raise the prices of the Switch 2 again. Then you'll get double the money.
Also, hey, if you can't afford it, I get it. Trust me, I get it. That's fine. You know what you can do for free? Hit the thumbs up button, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether if you do the like button on I'm actually putting out like clips in shorts on YouTube. It just whenever you see one of ours come up, if you hit the thumbs up button, the like button on that, and just say anything in the comments, just write fuck and enter.
Just ASDF.
Hit enter. You can't believe how much of a difference that will make. Because if I can get $1 out of YouTube, I can claim this stuff off on my taxes. That's what I'm working for. I'm working for just enough money to be able to take this shit off on my taxes instead of having to pay for it out of my own pocket. So please, every little bit counts. Have I shamelessly begged enough? Have I become so pathetic now?
No, I think you could go lower.
I haven't lowered myself nearly enough before the masses.
Exactly.
All right. Well, on that note, shall we close this out?
Yeah.
All right. Let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 821. We recorded this on Sunday, May 31st, 2026. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DeNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. On Facebook and Twitch, we are The GameHounds. On YouTube, we're GameHounds Vids, VIDS, all one words. GameHounds Vids as in videos. We would love to have you join us live if you're listening to us as a podcast. Please come visit us. Come say hi. You can actually see the whole show as opposed to the edited down show that I put up on the Apple Podcast because it's too damn long and full of a bunch of like crazy weird stuff that doesn't make it to the show. If you're listening as a podcast, come visit us and see us do it live. And that way you can actually come into our chat room and say hello. By the way, thank you to Rick Reviews and AC Wraith and everybody else who was in here today. Thank you again for always being here. Forget Your Life, again, thank you. Ezio's Helsing, thank you for being here. And everybody else who was in, if you were just there lurking, always appreciated. speaking of the podcast, we do release this show as a podcast on Apple Podcasts and also on iHeartRadio and of all the other places that you can listen to podcasts. If you do listen to us as a podcast, again, like I said, little things that really make a difference. One of the little things that really make a difference, leave us feedback. Whoa, you have no idea what just leaving a single sentence as feedback on our podcast can do, because we are a very, very old podcast. We have been going for a very, very long time. And that one new comment lets Apple know that we haven't stopped and we're still putting out good content. So please go over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this podcast and just leave a comment. It's a bit like calling your state Senate representative. You have no idea the power that you have in your hands. Exercise it and use it, and do us a favor and help us be a better podcast by doing so. Also, that $1 a month, patreon.com/GameHounds. And if you want to just make us feel good, to be good people and to be good podcasters, come join our Discord. Our Discord information is on the description, no matter where you watch the show. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great week. We will talk to you next week. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here, Nick.
Yeah, always.
Bye. Okay. So the audio show is over. We're still on video. I'm going to go eat something. And I'm going to play some Wind Rose, I think, or that game that I just bought. I think I might just load up that game I just bought and saw something, but. And by the way, AC Wraith, I wanted to share that I did show, I don't know why I'm not seeing any more. I haven't seen a comment come up in the comment section for the last 20 minutes, which has me a little concerned.
Yeah.
Like normally AC Wraith says something, but I did share with Chris that you are playing
the Saboteur.
Saboteur.
Yeah, I saw the Discord that he was writing about that.
Right. And you wrote in the Discord that you're not doing the missions and that you're just kind of doing the open world stuff, blowing stuff up. And the thing that Chris said, he's like, "Oh, you're playing my world. That's my world. That's what I did. I did the open world stuff. So you are literally playing the stuff that he designed." And he was so thrilled that you were doing that. That somebody is in there just running around and blowing stuff up and doing stuff and just driving everywhere. That he just was like, "Oh, that's so cool." So thank you for doing that. You made his day to do that. So
That's
thanks.
cool.
And if you haven't played Saboteur before, go do that. You don't have to play the missions. You can play the missions until you get into the open world and then just drive around and just blow stuff up and do things.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm really surprised at that. If I was going to pick and I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I loved this game when it came out in 1999, which is why Chris and I actually met.
It came out in 1999.
Yeah, it did.
Oh. That's the 2009.
Sorry, 2009. Sorry, my bad. 2009. My bad. Did I say? Anyway. Yeah, 2009.
High school.
Yeah. 1999. I was not that far out of college. No, 2009. When that game came out in 2009, I loved that game back then. And even then, I was surprised that it hadn't been a movie. I'm even more surprised that that game has not been made into a movie because it is such a good story. It is. And it's based on a real person who did that. It's like, how is this not being made into a movie? If you are a movie maker, might I recommend look up Saboteur, check out the story on that, and recognize that that is a true story about a secret agent in World War II who was a race car driver. He was a race car driver in World War II that was spying for the Nazis and was a secret agent for the French resistance. It's such a good story, and it's real. It's true. It's not made up. So think about that. If I had Elon Musk's money, and I would buy the Dodgers and destroy them, and then I would make that movie.
Yeah, AC Wraith made a good point too, that if you want to like kill some fascists, but you're not good at playing first-person shooters, Wolfenstein is like the game people normally point to.
Mhm.
But if you get motion sickness, there's not a lot of third-person options.
No,
But
and
this is one.
this is one. It is a third-person game, so it works out well for you. All right, everyone, I'm gonna go eat some spaghetti and drink a little bit more beer and do some more laundry and play some video games. So I will talk to you next
That's an
week.
awesome Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday I needed. It's not the Sunday I wanted, but it is the Sunday I needed. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, AC Wraith.